Chapter 1921 Tianyui, the White Stone of Life. Subsequently, Shixingzu talked about the main points of breaking the shackles and chains, and the aspects that need to be paid attention to. Of course, most of them can't practice this path, so they don't care. However, they are all very clear that from today onwards, the value of the cursed black stone and the white stone of life will soar rapidly, and the value will increase many times, reaching a level that is unattainable. Many eternal controllers are regretting it. If they had known that they had collected more cursed black stones and life white stones, they would have made a lot of money. They could also sell them to other eternal controllers who needed them. Not long after, the Shixing ancestor finished speaking and let the disciples leave. Void area. Yi Tian is contemplating the shackles and chains of the primitive level control body. Once the shackles and chains are broken, the primal level control body will become stronger and stronger. For him, this is also a shortcut to improve his strength. If possible, he doesn't even need to open up a boundary river to break the realm of a 10-level controller. At this time, there were some cursed black stones on his body, but not many. In fact, not only is there not much on him, but there are not many on other eternal controllers, because many cursed black stones have been acquired by the Black Emperor Patriarch through various channels. At the beginning, other eternal masters didn't know the value of the cursed black stone, so they didn't care too much. Now, those eternal masters who will sell the cursed black stone are afraid of regret. I don't have any life stones on me, I have to collect some. Yi Tian went to the Jihei Chamber of Commerce, but got bad news. Life Shiraishi, no, not only is there no white stone of life, but even a piece of the black stone of cursed is gone, it has been acquired long ago, and no one will sell the black stone of cursed anymore. A quick action, Yi Tian muttered. Right now, unless you spend a lot of money to buy some cursed blackstones or life whitestones from some eternal masters who don't need cursed blackstones, or go to the world to find cursed blackstones and life whitestones yourself. Or the second way is more reliable. Yi Tian muttered. After all, there are too many eternal controllers who have acquired the blackstone of curse and the white stone of life. If he buys them now, he may not necessarily acquire them. Moreover, he has to compete with those 10-level controllers, but he can't compete with them unless he spends a lot of money. The Taichu Lingquan liquid trading, but in that case, it would be too noticeable. Therefore, he prepared himself to find the black stone of curse and the white stone of life. In the end of the world, the cursed black stone and the white stone of life are very rare, but they can still be found in some places, but no one cared about it before, so there are almost no eternal controllers who specifically look for the cursed black stone, and it is estimated that there is only the Black Emperor ancestor. Specially went to the cursed black stone. Subsequently, Yi Tian specifically learned about the places where the black stone of curse and the white stone of life are likely to be born. Eventually, Yi Tian got several spots. Blackstone Field, Baiyun Mountain, Heaven Lake Sea, Death Golden Realm. These places are in the depths of the world, and it is easier to give birth to the cursed black stone and the white stone of life. Among them, Tianyui is the most likely to give birth to the white stone of life. Yi Tian is very short of life white stones, so he went to Tianyui for the first time. He is also very clear that there must be many strong people going to Tianyui now, not only him, but even his several brothers and sisters. It is very likely to send a will clone to Tianyui to find the white stone of life. Under such competition, how much life white stone he can get depends on luck. Time passed slowly. After a long time, Yi Tian finally arrived at Tianyui. Tianyui. This place is located in the depths of the boundary of the world, and the surrounding time and space are extremely chaotic, only this place is extremely calm. The Tianyui is very large, and the reason why the time and space here is calm is because the suppression here is very large, which makes the time and space tend to be in an extremely stable state. For the eternal controller, the suppression here is also extremely terrifying. Once they enter the sky, lake and sea, it is like the compression of billions of time and space, and the general eternal controller cannot withstand this kind of suppression. Basically, the eternal controllers who can enter here and walk freely are almost all controllers above the 7th realm level. According to the information, the white stones of life are almost all on the bottom of the Tianyu Sea, and there is a peculiar life in the Tianyu Sea, the Tianyu Beast. 1. Yi Tian doesn't know much about the Heavenly Lake Beast, but he knows that this Heavenly Lake Beast may not be strong in the outside world, but in the Heavenly Lake Sea, it can mobilize the power of the Heavenly Lake Sea, and can easily suppress the 7 realms level controller, or even it is an 8 realm level controller, and some extremely powerful Heavenly Lake Beasts can even be compared to a 9 realm level controller. Of course, the heavenly lake beasts are gentle, as long as they don't provoke them, they won't attack the eternal controllers either. Yi Tian went deep into the sea of a euro Tianyu, constantly searching for the white stone of life. Time passed slowly, and during this period, he also encountered other eternal masters, but everyone was searching silently, and there was no communication at all. This day, Yi Tian's copy talent detected 7 or 8 heavenly lake beasts, which was obviously a small group of heavenly lake beasts. Originally, Yi Tian didn't care, but when he approached the group of Tianyu beasts, he actually sensed the breath of the white stone of life nearby. The breath of the white stone of life is almost difficult to perceive, it must be very close to perceive its existence, and it is precisely because of this that the white stone of life is difficult to find. This time, Yi Tian sensed a lot of white stones of life, hundreds of pieces. In an undersea mountain range, the breath of white stones of life made the life force here abnormal nuo jiaos. And it was these abnormal life energies that really exposed the white stone of life. The strength of these heavenly lake beasts is not strong, so Yi Tian shot instantly, took away these life white stones, and then quickly left without entanglement with these heavenly lake beasts. In the beginning, Yi was just hee for this. But one day, he once again discovered that the place where the heavenly lake beasts gathered, there were many white stones of life. This time, Yi Tian confirmed one thing. The place where the Tianyu beasts gather should be their lair, and the reason why the Tianyu beasts use the place where the white stone of life is located as the place of their nest is that they like the breath of the white stone of life, or in such an environment to them better for the lungs. 1. If this is the case, I just need to keep using the copy talent to find the nests where the Tianyu beasts gather in large numbers, and then I can find a lot of white stones of life. Yi Tian thought so. Chapter 1922 Break the 3 shackles and chains. Yi Tian opened the copying talent, no longer focusing on the perception of the white stone of life, but directly looking for the Tianyu beasts that gathered together. Of course, there is no need for him to care about the single Tianyu beast. After all, the lonely Tianyu beast is not staying in its own lair, and it is unlikely that there will be white stones of life around. After having a target, Yi Tian quickly found a group of Tianyu beasts. After approaching the group of Tianyu beasts, Yi Tian really sensed some white stones of life. Immediately, Yi Tian immediately took action, snatched these life white stones, and immediately fled away. Another place in Tianyuai, Yi Tian stopped. Sure enough, Tianyu beast likes to stay in the place where the white stone of life was born. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he kept looking for the place where the heavenly lake beasts gathered, and as time passed, Yi Tian found the white stones of life everywhere. After a long time, Yi Tian found a lot of white stones of life. At this time, there may still be the white stones of life in the Tianyuai, but there are definitely not many. After all, this is only one place where 970 was born. It's time to leave. Yi Tian left immediately. After that, Yi Tian didn't go looking for the black stone of the curse, because he had enough white stone of life, and he could completely use the white stone of life to trade the black stone of the curse with other eternal masters. He believed that there were many eternal masters who cursed the black stone, and he was absolutely willing to trade the white stone of life with him. Soon, Yi Tian released the news that he had a lot of life white stones in his hands and was willing to trade the cursed black stones. Then, he quietly waited for other eternal masters to come to him. Time passed, and not long after, an eternal master came. I have seen the endless master. The person who came to see Yi Tian was the 9 realms level controller Zan Qing, and his strength was not bad among the 9 realms level controllers. Endless controller, I'll come to you to trade some white stones of life. Zan Qing controller said. Okay, how about 1 white stone of life for 100 cursed black stones? Yi Tian said. The white stone of life is more rare CJFI, and the number of cursed black stones in the sea of a boundary is still quite large, so this transaction ratio is absolutely reasonable. The Zan Qing controller nodded. Subsequently, the two completed the transaction. But Zan Qing's controller didn't trade many life white stones, only 20 pieces. But not long after Zan Qing's controller left, another 9 realms level controller came to trade with Yi Tian. In this way, the eternal controllers came to trade, which made the number of cursed black stones in Yi Tian's hands become more and more. This kind of days when he doesn't need to go to the world to slowly find the cursed black stone is really very comfortable, so Yi Tian no longer lacks the cursed black stone. After a period of time, no eternal controller came to trade with Yi Tian. After all, many eternal controllers lacked even the cursed black stone. How many cursed black stones could be traded for the white stone of life? And no one came to him. Yi Tian also announced the retreat, began to practice, and took the road of breaking the shackles and chains of the primitive level control. After all, every time a chain is broken, a lot of strength can be improved, so he naturally wants to leave. Moreover, he feels that this path is even more reliable than absorbing the source of the sea. Let's start, Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he took out some white stones of life and a large amount of cursed black stones, absorbed the power of the two stones and poured them into his primitive level control body, inspiring the root of the primitive level control body. In the dark, Yi Tian sensed the shackles and chains at the root of the primal control body. Yi Tian tried to break a chain, but found it difficult to tear the chain. He attacked again and again, but still failed, while the white stone of life and the black stone of curse were still rapidly consuming. However, Yi Tian still found that the shackles and chains were loosening, which meant that there was hope for the impact. Master said that the first eternal master who discovered this path, breaking these shackles and chains is very easy, but then it is very difficult. It was a loophole at the beginning, but now this loophole is blocked by the source world. The rules of the sea make up for it, and the difficulty increases many times if the latecomers want to continue to break the shackles and chains. Yi Tian muttered. Of course, even if the difficulty has increased, this is still a bright road, and it is the third path that truly belongs to the controllers above the 8th realm level to improve their strength. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian kept hitting this shackles chain. After a long time, after consuming a lot of cursed black stones and life white stones, Yi Tian finally broke the first shackles chain. Click, the first shackle chain was broken. Then, this shackle chain turned into a golden energy and poured into Yi Tian's primitive level control body, making Yi Tian's primitive level control body continue to improve, and the rate of improvement is still very large. At the same time, Yi Tian's strength is also skyrocketing. In the following years, Yi Tian continued to attack the second shackle chain, but it was difficult. Fortunately, Yi Tian acquired enough cursed black stones and enough life white stones, otherwise he would not have the confidence to attack the second shackle chain. Years go by. I don't know how long it has passed, but finally, on this day after hundreds of thousands of years, Yi Tian finally broke the second shackles and chains, and the body of primitive control has been raised again. In a short period of time, Yi Tian's strength has improved a lot, almost reaching the pinnacle of a 9-realm level controller. In fact, Yi Tian is now qualified to open up the Boundary River and attack the 10-realm level controller, but he did not do so. He wants to break the shackles and chains, and use this method to attack the 10-realm level controllers. After the 10 realms are in control, he will open up the Boundary River without any problem. Moreover, to open up the Boundary River with the strength of the 10-level controller, it can be opened 100% without even any auxiliary treasures. Of course, Yi Tian calculated that if he wanted to break the shackles and chains, he would need to break at least 9 shackles and chains. He has only broken 2 shackles and chains, so he still needs to continue to work hard. Another million years have passed, and after Yi Tian's efforts again, after consuming many cursed black stones and life white stones, Yi Tian finally broke the third shackles chain again. But at this time, his cursed black stone is not enough. Chapter 1923 Great Discovery, the Role of Special Black Breath. Curse the black stone too fast. Yi Tian frowned. Although 3 shackles chains were broken, the cursed black stone was almost exhausted, and the remaining cursed black stones could not continue to break the 4th shackles chain. Right now, other people may not continue to trade cursed black stones with him, so he has to find a way to collect some cursed black stones. The place where the cursed black stone has been found the most is the black stone domain of Jia, but it is very dangerous and is one of the forbidden areas. For example, last time, the mysterious figure controller was contaminated with the inexplicable black energy in the black stone domain, causing the body in control to collapse. If he hadn't rescued the mysterious figure controller, then the mysterious figure controller would have died. Of course, not only because of the black energy, but also other dangers. In short, many times, you will fall into the black stone domain if you are not careful. But even so, there are still many controllers who have gone to the Blackstone territory this time, and of course they are all eternal controllers who have controlled the will turned form and possess the will, avatar. Even if it is in danger, it will at most be the fall of the will clone. Although the loss will be great, it is better than the fall of oneself. Then go to the Blackstone territory. At least there are still a lot of cursed Blackstones in the Blackstone territory. If you are lucky, you can still find a lot of cursed Blackstones. Yi Tian muttered. This day, Yi Tian went to the Black Stone territory. Of course, he went directly to the Black Rock territory directly from the Beiwang River connected by Taichu Mountain, which was closer. Moreover, Beiwang River has also calmed down recently, and there will be no major danger. Soon, Yi Tian came to the Beiwang River, and then went to the Black Stone region through the Beiwang River. Soon after, the Blackstone domain arrives. After coming to the Blackstone territory, Yi Tian felt the boundless black aura permeating the entire Black Rock territory. Of course, the black aura that permeates the entire Blackstone territory is naturally not the kind of black aura that makes the body controlled by the master of the mysterious map collapse, otherwise who would dare to enter the Black Rock territory? However, these black breaths will still suppress the eternal master, interfere with will perception and so on. Without any hesitation, Yi Tian stepped directly into the Blackstone territory. Around him, the dense black aura enveloped him and was blocked by him. The Blackstone territory is very large, and the area shrouded in black aura can be called the Black Rock territory, and the cursed black stones here are scattered everywhere, and there seems to be no regularity. Moreover, the interference of black aura has caused many eternal controllers to not perceive the existence of the cursed black stone at all. In addition, it is very dangerous here, and if you are not careful, you will encounter fatal danger. This caused the eternal controllers to enter the Blackstone territory, and they did not dare to travel through time and space, nor did they dare to fly too fast, and the speed of searching for the cursed Blackstone would be very slow. Therefore, for so long, although many eternal masters have come here, they have not found many cursed black stones. Yi Tian flew slowly here for a long time, but did not find any signs of life. It's a pity, if there are some beings here like Tianyuai who like to stay beside the cursed black stone, that's fine. Yi Tian thought, if this is the case, he can easily find the cursed black stone. However, this did not happen. He wanted to find the cursed black stone, and it was impossible to rely on copying talent. Look for it slowly, Yi Tian muttered. In the years that followed, Yi Tian kept looking for the cursed black stone. Although he didn't have any big gains at first, he only occasionally obtained 1 or 2 cursed black stones sporadically. However, he did not encounter any major danger. If it is always safe like this, after a long time, it is possible to obtain some cursed black stones, and the harvest will not be too small. This is why many eternal masters are willing to venture here. As long as you don't die, you will gain a lot. This day, Yi Tian came to an area of a the Blackstone domain, which is a mountain range suspended in the void. Yi Tian entered this mountain range and sensed some cursed black stones. So, he was excited and immediately tore apart the mountain range, ready to take away the cursed black stone inside. But suddenly, a few strands of black aura entered Yi Tian's body. No, it's the kind of black aura that makes the body of the master of the mysterious map collapse. Yi Tian's expression changed greatly. For this kind of breath, he still remembers his horror. Even the body of the 8 realms level controller can't hold it. If he doesn't need life-saving things, it will soon collapse. Of course, he has not tried it with his own body, but it is estimated that even a 9 realm level controller can't hold it, because this kind of breath directly collapses the body in control, which may not have much to do with strength, but directly disintegrates the body in control. Hey, I seem to be able to handle it. A for flower Sayuro. Yi Tian suddenly found that the speed at which the body he controlled collapsed was very slow, and he could still bear it. Soon, he knew why. His physique is special. He devoured the Black Silent Sea, the Swallowing Mountain, and the myriad phase Linlong beings, so his physique is very strong, and the physique of the Swallowing Mountain can absorb energy and counteract external attacks. Therefore, it is not a simple matter for these special black breaths to make his body collapse. So, he can bear it. Certainly, it's just that it can withstand it. If it is not solved, there will still be problems. Subconsciously, Yi Tian wanted to go, and then find a Heiji Sea to guide this breath out. But at this moment, he discovered a problem. Point 0. These few breaths directly invaded the root of the body of primitive control, which seems to be the position of the shackles chain. Before, the cursed black stone and the white stone of life can only show the shackles chain from the root, otherwise it will be considered a 10-level master. I can't find the position of the shackles chain. And these few breaths can also sneak into the root of the primitive level control body silently. If it cooperates with the white stone of life, will it also make the shackles chain appear? Yi Tian thought to himself. If it is possible, then he can completely use these special black breaths to ban the cursed black stone. Try it, the big deal is to lose a duplicate body. Yi Tian muttered. Then, he took out some life shiraishi and started trying. Soon, the white stone of life was absorbed into his body, entered the root, and merged with the few strands of black aura. Boom! Changes have occurred, and the roots of the primitive level control body in the body are manifested. It worked, Yi Tian said in shock. And, what surprised him even more was that these few strands of black aura not only made the body in control of the primitive level collapse, but even the shackles and chains were affected by these few strands of black aura and became loose. This means that Yi Tian is easier to break the shackles and chains. Ha ha ha, great discovery. I thought these special black auras were terrifying things, but I didn't expect them to be things of great chance. Yi Tian said excitedly. Now, he can rest assured that there will be no shortage of cursed black stones in the future. Chapter 1924 Collect the original black gas. Yi Tian immediately began to try to break his fourth shackles. Originally, it was very difficult to break the fourth shackle chain, and it required a huge amount of cursed black stones, but now, under the influence of these few black breaths, the fourth shackle chain is very loose. Certainly, the white stone of life has to be consumed, otherwise, the shackles cannot be broken, and the black breath can only replace the cursed black stone. With the passage of time, finally in the near future, this fourth shackle chain was broken by Yi Tian. Crack! The shackles and chains were broken, and the golden energy poured into Yi Tian's body, tempering Yi Tian's primitive level control body, and making his primitive level control body improve again. And at this time, Yi Tian found that the black aura was consumed a lot. This black breath is really scary. I used it to break a shackle chain, and it has not been exhausted. This is much bigger than the power of cursing the black stone. Give it a name. What's it called? Yi Tian thought about it for a while, but he still had to call it primitive black qi. In the following days, Yi Tian continued to use the original black energy to break the shackles and chains. After consuming enough white stones of life, Yi Tian spent hundreds of thousands of years, and finally broke 3 shackles and chains one after another. 7 shackles chains, the strength has been raised to the pinnacle of the 9 realms level controller. He only needs to break 2 more shackles and chains, and he can hit the realm of the 10 realms level controller. However, at this time, the original black energy was exhausted by Yi Tian. We have to find a new original black gas. Yi Tian muttered. If the master of the mysterious map knew that Yi Tian had to find a new original black energy, he would definitely be dumbfounded. The things that the eternal controllers can't avoid, Yi Tian actually wants to take the initiative to collect it. Of course, primordial black qi is not so easy to find. First of all, it is impossible to perceive it. If it can be perceived, other eternal controllers will not be unlucky enough to encounter primordial black qi. No, you can find the original black qi by yourself. If you have bad luck, you may not be able to find it for a long time. It's better to let the news out. If anyone is caught by the original black qi, I can help to treat them. You only need to pay a little bit. Cursing the black stone is enough. In this way, other eternal masters are really caught in the original black qi, and they will definitely come to me. Even if it is a will clone, people are not willing to give up, and they will come to me. Yi Tian thought to himself. After all, he has treated the master of the mysterious map before, so others still trust his methods very much. At that time, he can attract the original black qi from other eternal controllers to himself, and then he can continue to break the shackles and chains, and he does not need to search for the original black qi by himself. So, Yi Tian went to publicize immediately. Soon, the news spread throughout the entire sea of A origin. As for the fact that Yi Tian named the black aura primitive black qi, it was naturally recognized as such. After all, everyone didn't know about the black aura itself, so the name primordial black qi was appropriate, so just use it. Zan Tianzong. Knowing the news, the master of Xuantu immediately sighed. The Endless Master is really a good person, although it is to earn a little cursed black stone, but it will also save the lives of other eternal masters. However, what he didn't know was that Yi Tian was not only for making money, but also for the original black qi. Yi Tian also doesn't know if other people will discover the mystery of the original black qi in the future, but it should not be easy to discover for the time being. He was able to find out that it was because he could withstand the attack of the original black qi, while the other eternal masters couldn't bear it, and they couldn't bear it directly. They needed life-saving things to protect their lives. How could they dare to continue to practice and attack the shackles and chains? If others dare to do this, they are courting death. So, he wasn't worried at all. This day, Yi Tian finally welcomed his first guest, the 9 realms level controller Po Sheng. The master of the broken saint is not weak, but this time he was hit by the original black qi as his will clone. Yi Tian saw the broken Saint Controller and clearly sensed that his will clone was about to collapse. Endless Master, can you really solve the original black energy in my body? The broken Saint Controller asked. Of course, the physical condition of the master of the mysterious map will be resolved by me. However, the reward still has to be given. Yi Tian said. You're talking about 100 cursed black stones, right? The broken Saint Controller said. Yes, 100 cursed black stones. Yi Tian nodded. However, I will not teach you how to deal with the original black chi. I will attract the original black chi from your body, and then I will deal with it myself. If you are still caught in the original black chi, you can continue to come to me. No problem, just get rid of the original black gas. Yi Tian said. Attracting the original black energy in other people's body from the source, this is a method that Yi Tian has only recently created, and it is another application of the black drawing technique. He called it the black induction technique too. After the Saint Broken Master took out 100 cursed black stones, Yi Tian grabbed the Saint Broken Master's body with one hand, and activated the black induction technique too. The original black chi at the source of the original control body of the broken Saint Controller was sucked out by a trace. There are so many. Yi Tian was a little surprised. 8 strands of primordial black air. This is more than what he has encountered before, and the broken holy controller does not know whether to say that he is lucky or unlucky. Soon, the strands of primitive black energy were caught by Yi Tian and inhaled into his body. The original black chi was completely sucked away, and the broken Saint Controller only felt a little weak, but it was not a big problem. Thank you, Endless Master. 5.8 The broken Saint Controller thanked him. It only cost 100 cursed black stones to save this clone, and this time it was too cost-effective. At the same time, he also felt that Yi Tian was righteous, and if it was another controller, it would be impossible for him to take action unless he cursed black stone by tens of thousands. Broken Holy Master, I will not keep you, and I have to deal with the original black energy in my body as soon as possible. Yi Tian said. Then I'll say goodbye. The broken Saint Controller left. After he left, Yi Tian announced a retreat. I hope that with the help of these 8 strands of primordial black energy, I can break 2 shackles and chains in one fell swoop and hit the realm of a 10-realm level controller. Yi Tian looked forward. P.S. Kneeling for the monthly ticket to reward the evaluation ticket. Chapter 1925 Breakthrough, the Master of the 10 Realms. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian used these 8 strands of primordial black energy and a large amount of life white stones to impact the 8th chain of shackles. After a long time, Yi Tian finally managed to break the 8th shackles chain. With only one left, I can break the shackles and become the master of the 10 realms. Yi Tian muttered. In the following years, Yi Tian continued to practice ascetic, and other eternal masters were once again caught in the original black chi, and came to Yi Tian to help deal with it. Although Yi Tian's main body has no time to deal with, but the main body also has a will clone, so it can also be dealt with. In this way, there are a few more strands of primitive black energy. Yi Tian continued to practice, and before he knew it, another 1,000,000 years passed by. I have to say that the 9th shackle chain is too difficult to break. Even if Yi Tian has the original black chi support, it will take a long time. It is conceivable that other eternal masters want to break the 9th shackles and chains. How many cursed black stones and how many years of time? Sure enough, the master is right. The first black emperor who discovered the road of shackles and chains, he broke the shackles and chains very easily, but after that, other eternal masters want to continue to break. The difficulty has increased dozens of times or even several hundred times. Yi Tian secretly said. However, he has the original black gas support, and the effect is not much slower than 29. And, I'm about to break the 9th shackles chain. Yi Tian muttered. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of years have passed. This day, when Yi Tian hit the 9th shackles chain, he finally broke it. Click. The 9th shackle chain was broken, turning into golden energy and pouring into Yi Tian's primitive level control body, causing Yi Tian's primitive level control body to skyrocket again. And this section directly triggered the transformation of Yi Tian's realm of strength. Boom. Yi Tian's shackles leading to the 10 realms level controllers were shattered. At the same time, Yi Tian began to frantically swallow the source of the original sea of A origin, and at the same time, he also used the spiritual spring liquid of absolute beginning to counteract the assimilation of the body by the source of the original sea of A origin. This time, it was a breakthrough to absorb the source energy, so the absorption speed was thousands of times faster than before, and the terrifying source energy caused the tide, which was swallowed by Yi Tian's body. Wanyuan Mountain. Xixing ancestor noticed Yi Tian's breakthrough and looked through layers of time and space. My 5 disciples actually broke through to the 10th realm level, and they still didn't use the path of opening up the boundary river. Even the Black Emperor's ancestors broke through to the 10 realm level controller by means of opening up the boundary river. Jiehe will break through to the first person to be the master of the 10 realms. Shi Xingzu murmured. Yi Tian's breakthrough movement was too big, affecting the origin of the source realm C, so many controllers above the 10 realm level can spy on a little information. They all knew that Yi Tian had broken through, and they were immediately shocked. The 89th Boundary River. When the Snow Girl controller learned that Yi Tian had broken through to the 10 realm level controller, he was immediately shocked. Little junior brother broke through. This speed is too fast, and he has not opened up the boundary river. The Snow Maiden controller said stunned. But soon, she guessed why. Fettered chains. Obviously, her little junior brother has at least broken the chains of the 9 shackles, and only then can he break through to the realm of the 10-level controller. And she only broke 2 shackles and chains. In comparison, her little junior brother has completely crushed her on the road of breaking through the shackles and chains. The Black Rotten controller and the Ancient Demon controller were also surprised at the breakthrough speed of his little junior brother, it was simply too fast. Little junior brother broke through. Senior brother Zhang Yu was extremely shocked. I remember that it was not that long ago that this little junior brother still asked him for advice, and then the little junior brother broke through to the 9 realms level controller, and he still didn't feel anything. But in the blink of an eye, the little junior brother has broken through to the 10 realm level controller, which is too exaggerated. However, I also hope to become the master of the 10 realms. Not long ago, the master finally used a treasure to give me the birth of a primitive level control body, although it was a defective primitive level control body, which was forcibly produced by using a treasure. But I can also take the path of shackles and chains, and by breaking the shackles and chains one by one, I can increase my strength to the pinnacle of a 9 world level controller, and then hit the realm of a 10 world level controller. 1. Zhang Yu muttered. Immediately, he continued his penance. And his will clone is also looking for the cursed blackstone in the blackstone domain, trying to find enough cursed blackstone as soon as possible to break the shackles and chains for him. Time flickered, and after a period of time, Yi Tian completely stabilized the strength of the 10 realm level controller. Very strong, much stronger than the 9 realms level controller. Yi Tian said excitedly. Finally, he has also reached this level, ranking at the pinnacle level of the eternal controller, and is in the same realm as the brothers and sisters of the ancient demon controller, the Black Rotten controller, and the Snow Girl controller. Even, he saw the hope of reaching the level of master. Soon after, Yi Tian held a celebration to celebrate that he had broken through to the 10 realm level controller, just like the Snow Maiden controller had celebrated, but only invited some eternal controllers that he was familiar with. This celebration was only held for a short time and then ended. And the news of Yi Tian breaking through to the 10 realm level controller naturally spread, and everyone knew very well that another 10 realm level controller was born in the original Sea of A realms. More importantly, the 2 successive 10 realm level controllers came from the 10 Xing ancestors sect, which made the 10 Xing ancestor very proud. At the level of the 10 line ancestor, there is no hope of progressing upwards, so he also pursues a little in other aspects, such as accepting disciples, so the disciples are motivated, and the 10 line 970 ancestors as masters are naturally happy. I have broken through to the 10 realm level controller, and I can try to open up a realm. This is also a way to improve my strength, no need to be in vain. Yi Tian murmured. So he took some time to prepare, and after millions of years, everything was ready, and he came to the overseas boundary of the source realm, and chose an area to open up the boundary. For Yi Tian to open up the boundary river, the Snow Maiden controller, the Ancient Demon controller, and the Black Rotten controller have all come to observe, but this time there is no need to protect Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian is already the master of the 10 realms, and this time he opened up the realm, there is no possibility of failure, and he is not afraid of being disturbed by others. All interference is meaningless. After getting ready, Yi Tian began to arrange the magic circle, covering an area and turning it into a boundary river area. Afterwards, he opened up and broke the barriers of the source boundary river, brought the energy of the source boundary sea to come here, turned it into a boundary river, and then used his own endless source to suppress the void of the boundary river, and derived the source of the boundary river. Everything went smoothly without any accident, and Yi Tian was also very relaxed. That is, after breaking through to the 10 realm level controller, it would be so easy to open up a realm river. After a long time, the 90th boundary river was finally successfully opened up by Yi. P.S. Ask for a monthly pass. Chapter 1926. The strength has skyrocketed, asking the master for a chance. The 90th boundary river just opened up is not too stable, it will take some time to breed, but at least it will not collapse. Moreover, once the boundary river is created, it is a part of the source boundary sea. Even if the 10th realm level controller wants to destroy a boundary river, it is very difficult to do. Therefore, it is very safe for the 10 realm level controllers to stay in their own realm rivers. Many 10 realm level controllers will build their realm rivers into solid fortresses as their old nests. And Yi is the same. He plans to relocate a part of the human race to the 90th boundary river, and let the people occupy the most prosperous area and practice there. Certainly, Yi will also not give up the void area, which is the origin of the human race. After a period of time, the 90th boundary river was completely stabilized, and Yi also planned to use this boundary river to improve his strength. As the pioneer of this Jihei, Yi was able to use Jihei's power to improve his own strength, and he improved in all aspects. This is also the reason why the 9 realms level controllers can break the shackles by opening up Jihei. This day, Yi sat cross-legged in the source of the 90 rivers and began to absorb the power of the entire river. How huge the entire boundary river is, and how terrifying the power gathered now. Boom, endless power poured in and began to temper Yi body. The willpower, primitive level control body, and control power were all rapidly improving. This kind of improvement seems to come naturally, without any shackles. Yi strength is constantly improving, and the speed of improvement is very fast. Of course, Yi doesn't expect this promotion to be comparable to the 8th floor of the Taichu Tower, but at least it is at the top level in the 7th floor, that's fine. Time goes by, time flies. Before he knew it, Yi had been practicing for tens of millions of years in the 90th boundary river. At this time, the power of the 90th boundary river is useless to him. The benefits brought by the development of the boundary river are exhausted, and this road has come to an end. Yi muttered. In the past, when the 10 realm level controllers came to this point, if they wanted to continue to progress, they had to find treasures that could enhance the will of the metamorphosis realm and the body of primitive level control, as well as continuously absorb the origin of the refining source realm C, and improve their strength step by step. As long as the body assimilation degree does not exceed 70%, they will madly absorb and refine, and have been raised to the pinnacle of 10 realm level controllers. This is the only way. But now there is one more way to break the shackles and chains, and the prospects are great. During this period of time, Yi also accumulated some primordial black chi, which were all obtained from other eternal masters, and there were a total of 23 primordial black chi. He has been useless, but is now available. After breaking through to the 10 realm level controller, Yi found that it was easier for him to break the shackles and chains. Time passed. After consuming a lot of life white stones and 13 strands of primordial black energy, Yi finally broke a shackle chain again. Crack! The 10th shackle's chain shattered, turning into golden energy and pouring into Yi body, enhancing his primitive control body. It's improved a little bit. Master said that if you continue to break the shackles and chains in this way, after breaking the 36 shackles and chains, you can break the boundaries of the 10 world level controllers and reach the master's level. Yi muttered. Of course, the absorption of the source of the sea of a euro origin must continue. He has a lot of spiritual spring liquid in the beginning, so he does not need to worry about the assimilation of the body's source for a long time. Years go by. Unconsciously, another 300 million boundary years passed, and at this time Yi had broken the 16 chains of fetters. In addition, he absorbed the boundless source of the sea of a euro origin, so his strength skyrocketed. Now, he already has the strength to break through the 8th floor of the primordial tower. In other words, among the 10 realms level controllers, his strength is in the middle class, and he may have surpassed his 4th senior sister Shui Envy's controller, and is on a par with senior brother Ancient Demon. However, at this time his life Shiraishi was exhausted. Without the white stone of life, even if there is a lot of primitive black energy, he can't break the shackles and chains. So, he must go to collect life Shiraishi again. It's a pity that there are not many living white stones in Tianyuai. He has visited a few times during this period and harvested some, but now he is afraid that he has found so many pieces. It is a waste of time for a sparse piece or two. You must find a new life Shiraishi. Yi thought to himself. In Jejia, which is not too far from the source realm, there is no good place to have a lot of white stones of life. Although it can be found, it takes a lot of time, and it is impossible to find too many white stones of life at once. He wanted to go to a place where he could quickly find a large number of living white stones, but he also knew that it would be difficult. I have to go and ask Master. Yi Tian decided. In Wanyuan Mountain, no matter who they are, as long as they break through to the 10 realm level controller, they can get a chance from the 10 elements ancestor, but Yi Tian has never gone. Now, he wants to go. Wanyuan Mountain. Yi Tian came to ask Xixing ancestor to see Xixing ancestor, and Xixing ancestor quickly let him go. Master, Yi Tian said respectfully. Yi Tian, a euro, you are very good. You are second only to your senior brother, the ancient demon. In terms of talent, you are the highest among my many disciples. Xixing ancestor praised. I'm lucky, Yi Tian said. Luck is also a talent. Xixing ancestor said with a smile. Yi Tian is undeniable, it seems to be the case, luck is also a talent. Tell me, what's the matter with me, Nuo Zhao's? Shixing Zhu asked. Yi Tian immediately explained the purpose of his visit. Master, I can ask for a great chance when I have broken through to the 10 realm level controller. I currently lack the white stones of life, so I want a place where I can find a lot of white stones of life. Shi Xingzu said in surprise. You sure want such a big chance, you can ask for a better chance. Master, I want this. Yi Tian said. Xixing ancestor was silent for a while, then said, well, since you insist, I will tell you. In the area of a euro, the realm that you know, the number of white stones of life is not many, and in the realm that you can hardly reach. In the Jia area, there are many white stones of life born in some places. Of course, if you look for it, you will definitely not find it. You can open a passage for the teacher to let people pass. Thank you, Master. Yi Tian is grateful to Daofei. P.S. Kneeling for a monthly pass. Chapter 1927 White Bone Abyss. Subsequently, Xixing ancestor revealed the name of the white stone land rich in life, Bai Ji Yu Yuan. The 10 elements ancestor tore the space-time channel, spanned the endless time-space, and connected the white bone abyss. After opening this passage, Xixing ancestor gave Yi Tian a mark, and this mark saved enough energy to break a passage again and come back. When Yi Tian wants to come back, just activate the imprint. Master, the disciple is gone. Yi Tian said goodbye. Wow, Yi Tian walked into the space-time channel and teleported for a long time before arriving at another place. So far, Yi Tian sensed the distance from the main body, and it was very blurry, showing how far away he was. If you rely on flying, you don't know how many years it will take in the middle, and it is easy to get lost, and you can't find the direction at all. Even if you have the induction of the body, it is useless, because it will not be able to fly in a certain area. In addition, some areas will be very dangerous, and you will die if you are not careful. Therefore, Yi Tian's only way is to go back through the mark given by the master. As soon as he came to Beiguan, a suction force seemed to be absorbing his vitality, but he forcibly suppressed this situation. For Bai Guyuan, Yi Tian came here for the first time, but the master also briefly talked about the situation here. The white bone abyss is very special, it will continue to attract some life from the nearby world, thus absorbing their life force, and gradually giving birth to some life white stones. For a long time, Bai Guyuan did not know how much life it had absorbed and how much life Bai Shi was born. That is why Shizen's existence will not lack the white stone of life, so he told him about this treasure. Of course, white bone abyss also has dangers, such as those powerful world life beings that can be devoured by white bone abyss. Among them, there may be special beings that are comparable to 10 realm level controllers. In Beiguan, there are still some devouring time and space that even the masters of the 10th realm can swallow. Once they are swallowed, the masters of the 10th realm can't carry it, and all the vitality of the body is swallowed up and turned into a pile of bones. Other than that, there is no danger. Therefore, Yi Tian only needs to pay attention to those incomparably powerful beings in the world and swallowing time and space. I sense the white stone of life, and it's still dozens of pieces. Yi Tian flew to the front and quickly took out dozens of white stones of life from the ground. When I first came here, I found so many white stones of life. It is indeed the place of opportunity for the white stones of life that Master specially prepared for him. If he was asked to find it himself, he would not be able to find it at all. Afterwards, Yi Tian searched slowly, and every once in a while, he could find some white stones of life, and the harvest became more and more, and soon surpassed the previous harvest in Tianyuai. Of course, Yi Tian can't leave here now, because he can only come once, so it's impossible for Master to send him here. The more time passes, the more Yi Tian gains, but sometimes he also encounters some incomparably powerful Jia beings. Almost all of these realm-level lives have reached the level of the 9 realm-level controllers, otherwise they would not be able to withstand the devourer of the White Bone Abyss. That Beiguan, which devours life all the time, can only be endured by such a powerful being. This day, Yi Tian saw an unbelievable scene, a life similar to the world of ape and monkey. Its breath is not even weaker than Yi Tian. The other party saw Yi Tian. When he was about to attack, he fell directly into a black hole, and was gradually being attacked by Yi Tian. Devoured. Devouring time and space. Yi Tian frowned. This is a powerful life comparable to a 10-realm level controller. It can't last for a few seconds before being swallowed up by the devouring time and space, and it is impossible to escape. The key is that without perceiving a little fluctuation, it suddenly appeared and devoured it. Even Yi Tian didn't know how to deal with this strange situation. He was also afraid that his cloned body would be swallowed up, so the white stones of life would not be able to be brought back. It is necessary to condense the will clone and let the will clone go to find the white stone of life. My cloned body stays outside the White Bone Abyss. Yi Tian decided. Can't blame him for being so careful, he really can't afford to lose. Subsequently, Yi Tian came to the outside of the White Bone Abyss, stayed on the edge, and then slowly began to gather his will clone. He was not afraid of wasting time. It has to be said that it is very slow to reunite the will clone. If the will clone is killed, the speed of condensing will be even slower, and the cost will be very high. Even the will recovery will take a long time. Moreover, if a person's will clone falls many times, it will damage the foundation, and it will even be permanently unable to gather again. But for Yi Tian, it's nothing. He can even recondense his body again and again by copying his body. What is his will clone? Years passed, and after a long time, Yi Tian finally condensed the avatar of will, and let this avatar search for the white stone of life, and after finding a certain white stone of life, he sent it back here. In this way, Yi Tian found a lot of white stones of life. However, on this day, Yi Tian's will clone was on the way to find the white stone of life, and suddenly encountered the unknown swallowing time and space. Boom! Devouring time and space swallowed Yi Tian. No matter how he controlled the time and space shuttle, he couldn't break the time and space power that swallowed time and space, and was dragged in little by little. But, after entering the swallowing time and space, although his body was under unimaginable pressure, it was not crushed and swallowed. The physique of the mountain of devouring. Yi Tian understood. This is the physique of the devouring mountain that protected him. Although this is a clone of the will, the clone, like the real body, also has a mountain physique, and the mountain physique is compatible with this swallowing time and space, which caused the old man here to swallow Yi Tian so quickly. This will clone will not die for the time being. Yi Tian also breathed a sigh of relief and began to observe the surrounding situation. He was shocked by this perception. Under his perception, he saw a huge network, like a blood vessel conduit, and like a space-time conduit. The dense pipelines are all over the void, covering this space-time region. He sensed the breath of life, and these pipes contained powerful life force. And each network is equivalent to a space-time channel. Yi Tian immediately began to shuttle, and followed the pipeline to investigate the situation here, but his physical world was still collapsing, but the collapse speed was not too fast. Time passed slowly, and finally he sensed the terrifying life force, which was a thing composed of countless light sources, like a heart connected to countless pipes. And the terrifying devouring power came from there. The next moment, Yi Tian's will clone shattered. Outside the White Bone Abyss. Yi Tian's expression changed. The will clone has fallen. However, he still understood the situation and had a guess in his heart. Could it be that Beiguan is alive? Chapter 1928 Perfect Ancestors, Perfect Body. When he thought that this place in Beiguan was alive, he shuddered and couldn't believe it. Because the White Bone Abyss is so huge. If this is a life, then it's worth it. Even a master is not as good as such a life, right? However, he didn't ask the master. After all, he couldn't ask the master about anything he didn't understand. Then, the master shouldn't be annoying. Thus, he was ready to find out for himself. Therefore, Yi Tian once again condensed his will clone, and after preparing to condense successfully, he will go to investigate and find out. This time, he is forcibly condensing his will clone. Even if he is injured, it doesn't matter at all. Anyway, he can reproduce a perfect duplicate body again in the future, and it will not affect anything. Time passed, and after a long time, Yi Tian finally condensed his will clone again and went to Beiguan again. However, Yi Tian couldn't find the entrance to the devouring time and space, so he could only shuttle continuously, at an extremely fast speed, hoping to touch the devouring time and space. If you can't touch it, it doesn't matter, just go to collect the white stone of life. You can collect a lot of white stone of life. With the passage of time, Yi Tian found a lot of life white stones, which can be regarded as a kind of harvest. After a long time, on this day, Yi Tian finally touched the devouring time and space again, and was directly swallowed by the devouring time and space. This time, Yi Tian didn't get close to the thing that was suspected to be the heart, because he couldn't bear the devouring there. Immediately, Yi Tian forcibly searched for research in other channels other than the heart, and felt the changes here. Swallow, time and space, life. From the changes of these various taos, a picture gradually appeared in Yi Tian's mind. It was a picture of a fleshly body. The blood vessels of the flesh are composed of many paths, and the supreme flesh is cast with blood vessels. With the passage of time, a flawed fleshly body appeared in front of Yi Tian. There are still flaws, and the composition of that heart must be understood. Yi Tian secretly said. However, in the heart, once it gets close, he can't hold it anymore. So, for the time being he can't go there. However, Yi Tian did not give up and was still researching. Finally, on this day, he really researched something. Every few years, the devouring power of the heart will decrease. At that time, I can get close to the heart, but not too close. Yi Tian thought to himself. So, he waited until this day and got close to his heart. Wow! Following the blood vessel channel, Yi Tian saw an incomparably huge light source heart, connected to countless blood vessel channels, as if the source of everything. And Yi Tian is here to resist the devourer of the heart, while perceiving the composition of the heart. Break me! Yi Tian's will was pushed to the extreme, finally breaking the blockade of his heart and sensing the inside. And this perception, he was suddenly stunned. Because the inside of the heart is not the normal heart he imagined. No, it should be said that it is not a heart at all, and even these blood vessels are not real blood vessels. At the same time, he finally understood that Beiguan was not life. If Beiguan is life, his master must have known it long ago and will tell him. There is indeed real life here, not Beiguan, but a space-time area deep in the heart, where there is a body, and the so-called heart and blood vessels are the life force that devours the outside world and pours into this body. In the body, to maintain his vitality. Or this is an instinctive maintenance, not the other party's restraint, but even so, a treasure like Beiguan has been created. The heart and blood vessels should be the manifestation of each other's strength. Click, Yi Tian's willpower avatar could no longer carry it, and it shattered again. However, Yi Tian was very happy that he finally understood the truth. Moreover, he obtained a physical body map, which can also be said to be a method of physical cultivation, which completely imitates the physical body of the other party. More importantly, I sense the talent of the other party. Yi Tian was very excited. Yi Tian always thought that the control level ancestry was the highest. After all, his copy talent was also the control level ancestral level, but he had just sensed another ancestral ancestry, surpassing the control level. It is definitely beyond the control level, because even the copy talent is only copied to the opponent's name, and the progress is still at 0%, which means that it cannot be copied at all. Ask for flowers. He must upgrade the copy talent before it can be copied to the opponent's talent. And this talent is the perfect ancestor. Perfect level ancestral fu, swallowing body. Yi Tian doesn't know the purpose of this perfect ancestor, but it is absolutely terrifying. I finally know that there are talents beyond the control level ancestors. Next, I hope to obtain treasures that can upgrade the copy talents. As long as the copy talents are upgraded, I can obtain the perfect level ancestors. Yi Tian said excitedly. Of course, in addition to this gain this time, I also obtained a method of cultivating the physical body. Let's call it a method. Even if I imitate the other party, once it is perfected, it can become a powerful secret technique that belongs to oneself, surpassing any secret technique that you have ever done. Point 0. It's time to go back, just in case there is a bowel movement, in case this guy wakes up, it's egg. Then, Yi Tian immediately activated the Mark of Master's door. Boom, the space-time channel was opened, and Yi Tian quickly stepped into it, continuously teleporting. Not long after, Yi Tian returned to Wanyuan Mountain. After returning, Yi Tian annihilated this body and copied another body again. This was also for the sake of safety. In case the mark was left by the other party, it could be completely erased, and the causal connection could be directly broken. Subsequently, Yi Tian began to continue to practice, breaking the shackles and chains, and at the same time, he was also studying the secret art of the flesh, both of which were carried out at the same time. Time flies, there are countless white stones of life, Yi Tian's progress is very fast, and after spending a long time, he finally broke a shackle's chain. Before you know it, hundreds of millions of years have passed. On this day, Yi Tian's shackles have broken 20 chains. At the same time, Yi Tian also created a top-notch fleshly body secret technique of his own by imitating the fleshly body of the terrifying powerhouse. He doubted that even the master could create this secret technique. The key point of this fleshly body secret technique is to create a terrifying fleshly body, cultivate it to the extreme, and cooperate with the primitive level control body. It can explode the fleshly body strength beyond the limit. He named this fleshly body secret technique the perfect body. On this day, Yi Tian began to formally cultivate the perfect body. Chapter 1929 Change in Strength, Learn from the Black Rotten Master. The perfect body is very powerful. Once he is trained, Yi Tian feels that his strength is comparable to that of the 10 realm level controllers who have passed through the 9th floor of the primordial pagoda. At that time, he might be second only to senior brother Haixi in strength. And Yi Tian also divided the perfect body into 4 realms: entry, small achievement, great achievement, and perfection, but just getting started requires mastering hundreds of millions of changes in many ways. And to cultivate a perfect body is to stage hundreds of millions of changes in the body, just like the reorganization and transformation of the flesh. Let's start, Yi Tian muttered. Yi Tian's body showed a variety of changes, merged into the flesh, and turned into many changes in the way of the flesh. These changes combined, and slowly began to reorganize Yi Tian's body. Of course, this process is a very long process. Even with Yi Tian's innate ability, at least it will take hundreds of millions of years to truly complete the transformation. But once, 970, completes the transformation and becomes a perfect body, then Yi Tian's strength will skyrocket. Hundreds of millions of years of hard work can be exchanged for incomparably powerful strength, which is naturally very cost-effective. And Yi Tian's other copy body did not waste time, and was also on the road of breaking the shackles and chains, with the original black energy and a large number of life white stones, constantly breaking the shackles and chains. Anyway, if one body breaks through, the other body also breaks through, so it doesn't affect anything. Time flies, Yi Tian's strength is constantly improving, but the source world sea is very calm, nothing major has happened. Before you know it, hundreds of millions of years have passed. At this time, Yi Tian broke 2 shackles chains again, breaking a total of 22 shackles chains, but at the back, the shackles chains became more and more difficult to break. And this day, Yi Tian's perfect body is about to condense successfully. Boom! Endless energy poured into Yi Tian's perfect body, and the movement was too great to be concealed. There is the number 90 boundary river. What happened? It seems that there is a breakthrough by the Eternal Master. But this movement is too big. Even the 9-level controller has broken through to the 10-level controller, and the movement is not so big. 1. Could it be that someone has surpassed the 10-realm level controller? No, this movement has not reached that level. The person who made this movement is the Endless Controller. Go and take a look. 1. One after another, the eternal controllers shuttled to the 90th World River, including several brothers and sisters of Yi Tian. This little junior brother's breath is too scary, it has completely surpassed me by a lot. The Snow Maiden controller was surprised. The Black Rotten controller is also very surprised. I am afraid that the strength of the younger brother is not much weaker than mine, and the younger brother has a special physique. With the physique of the Mountain of Swallowing, he can absorb damage. I really may not be his opponent. Now. Little junior brother's talent is really terrifying. Such a huge improvement in such a short period of time can't be compared. The ancient demon controller also exclaimed. As time passed, Yi Tian's transformation finally completed gradually. Boom! The perfect body was completely cultivated, and many time and space seemed to be unable to withstand Yi Tian's perfect body, and they all collapsed. But soon, Yi Tian gradually took control of his perfect body, and many times and spaces stabilized one by one. Not long after, Yi Tian walked out of his retreat. And the Black Rotten controller and the ancient demon controller appeared one by one. Little junior brother, you are too surprising. In such a short period of time, you have completed a breakthrough again, said the Black Rotten controller. Just a fluke, Yi Tian said with a smile. He was also very happy with the breakthrough in strength, but he did not swell. Seeing the mysterious powerhouse at the White Bone Abyss, he knew that his strength was still poor. He doesn't know whether that person has reached another realm, or is still at the level of a half step beyond the 10-level controller, but the opponent's strength must be many times stronger than him. Therefore, he still needs to work hard. Little junior brother, are you interested in learning from each other? The Black Rotten controller said. He hadn't fought for too long, and the other 10 realm level controllers in the Source Realm Sea were unwilling to learn from him, and almost all of them couldn't beat him. The Black Emperor Patriarch was an opponent before, but he was very mysterious and hardly appeared. Haitsu was very active, but unfortunately he was sealed. Thus, he has almost no opponent. Now that Yi Tian has broken through, he wants to fight hard. Since senior brother Haixi wants to learn from each other, I will accompany him. Yi Tian said. The master of the Black Rot was overjoyed. It's still a little junior brother who is refreshing, not like your ancient demon senior brother, who is not refreshing at all. The ancient demon controller said embarrassedly, Junior brother Heisho, I'm not your opponent, and I'm not looking for abuse when I discuss with you. Subsequently, Yi Tian and the Black Rotten controller entered the realm of the world, where they can fight with confidence and will not affect the origin of the realm. Boundary of the world. Yi Tian is far away from the controller, and fighting here will not attract the attention of other eternal controllers. After all, they are only discussing internally, and they don't want to be exposed. Soon, the two were fighting. Boom. Yi Tian and the Black Rotten master are constantly fighting. The speed of the two is extremely fast. Every move and every style is comparable to the top source control skills. Almost all top source control skills are turned into instinct, and they explode at will. Come out. Unexpected. On the Black Rotten controller, there is a statue of a dragon with all appearances, and his strength has suddenly increased. And at this time, Yi Tian's body also appeared the Wanxiang Linlong statue. Little junior brother, you have cultivated for such a short period of time, and you have even gathered a statue of the All-Lin dragon. The Black Rotten controller was a little surprised. In the entire Source Realm Sea, there are only 2 10-realm level controllers who have truly assembled the Wanxiang Linlong statue. One is him, the other is Haitsu, and now Yi Tian has to be added. Little junior brother, I don't know what kind of secret technique the Myriad Phase Linlong clan obtained the Myriad Phase Linlong statue. The Black Rotten controller asked curiously. It's an empty eye. Yi Tian immediately cast this secret technique. Hundreds of millions of time and space were frozen, and the body of the Black Rotten controller seemed to be frozen. Then, Yi Tian used the time-space cracking blade, and came to kill with one knife. At this time, the Black Rotten master turned into all appearances. 5.8 broke away from the virtual eyes, and this knife only smashed hundreds of appearances. In the next moment, the Black Rotten controller returned to its original state. My secret technique is the incarnation of the Wanxiang Linlong family. Once this secret technique is used, it can break all kinds of restraints, transform into the myriad aspects, and counteract many attacks. It is an excellent secret technique for escape and life-saving, said the Black Rotten controller. The two fought for a long time, seemingly indistinguishable. At this time, the Black Rotten controller solemnly said, Little junior brother, next I will use my strongest move, which may hurt you. This is also my famous trick, surpassing the top source control skills, reaching a half-step transcendence. The level of top-level source control skills belongs to the skills that can only be created at the level of the master. 1. Senior brother He Shu, let's do it, I also have a whole card. Yi Tian said. Hearing this, the Black Rotten controller no longer worried, and directly used his skill. Chapter 1938 Tai. Strength increases. The Spear of Immortality. The Black Immortal controller used his skill, and his body seemed to be transformed into a Black Immortal Spear, smashing all time and space. When the Ancient Demon controller saw this move of the Black Rotten controller, he exclaimed, The Black Rotten junior brother performed this trick, I don't know if the younger junior brother can stop it. A powerful 10-realm level controller was directly hit hard. What a terrifying move, it's locked and can't be avoided no matter what. Yi Tian secretly said, but he wasn't ready to run away either. He directly played his trump card, the perfect body. Boom, the perfect body erupted, and Yi Tian's combat power reached its peak. Yi Tian burst out the space-time cracking blade with a perfect body, colliding with the immortal spear of the Black Rotten master. Boom! The endless time and space around it shattered, and the terrifying shock waves swept all around, spreading to an unknown distance. 29. And Etienne and the Black Rotten controller were both smashed into the air. Every step back, a time and space was smashed, although Etienne was knocked farther, more like one head plunged into layers of time and space, unable to control his own body. However, the physique of the devouring mountain and the perfect body made Etienne absorb a lot of damage, so he was only hit a bit and did not suffer too much injury. And the physique of the Black Rotten controller is not as good as Etienne. It is still cracked at the moment, but it heals quickly, and the impact is not big. This time, whether it was Etienne or the Black Rotten controller, it was a tie. Little junior brother, your physical body is too powerful, even if I cast the Spear of Immortality, it can't help you. The Black Immortal controller said in shock. In terms of attack power, senior brother Hixi is still powerful, I just absorbed the damage based on my physique. Etienne said. Little junior brother, don't be humble, let's count it as a tie. Said the Black Rotten controller. That's a draw. Etienne nodded slightly. At this time, the controller of the Snow Girl came over and exclaimed, Little junior brother, you are so incredible that you can even tie with senior brother Hixi. While Etienne was chatting with them, the Ten Xing ancestor also sent his gaze over to Wanyuan Mountain. My little apprentice is a bit amazing. I can clearly see the many methods he used before, but the methods of his outbreak this time have surpassed my understanding. Shi Xing ancestor said in shock. Suddenly, a thought appeared in his mind. Perhaps Etienne has hope to surpass me and reach another realm in the future. Shi Xing ancestor murmured. If Etienne really found a way to break through to the next realm, perhaps he would also have hope of breaking through, so he wouldn't be still at this half-step level. It's a pity that breaking the shackles chain still can't break this half-step. Saying that, a chain of shackles appeared at the root of Shi Xingzu's body, which was then easily smashed by him. In fact, he has smashed nearly 60 or 70 shackles and chains, but it is still useless, and the increase in strength is very small. Constantly breaking the shackles and chains can only improve his strength a little, and cannot completely cross this level. Not long after that, Etienne was separated from the Black Rotten controller, the Ancient Demon controller and the Snow Girl controller. And Etienne went back to continue to practice, and at this time, his strength spread throughout the entire sea of A origin. Although his battle with the Black Rotten controller was not exposed, the movement of him condensing into a perfect body was too great, so in the eyes of many eternal controllers, Etienne's current strength has been ranked second only to the Black Rotten controller. This level is the top level of the Source Realm Sea. In the following years, Etienne continued to improve his cultivation, and he still had considerable room for improvement in the realm of the 10 realm level controller. For example, he can also take some treasures that enhance the will of the metamorphosis, as well as treasures that enhance the body of primitive control, and can also improve the perfect body. In addition, he can also continuously absorb the origin of the original sea of A origin to improve his body. After all, his current level of origin assimilation is only more than 10%, and he is still far away from 70%. Time flies, Etienne has been practicing hard, and his strength is growing in a very slow way. At the same time, Etienne's shackles and chains are breaking one after another. However, the further back you go, the time it takes to break a single shackle chain will increase exponentially. If you want to break the 36 shackles and chains, it will take an unknown number of billions of years. In addition, Etienne is still doing one thing, that is, looking for treasures that can transform the copying talent. One of his cloned bodies is searched in the sea of A origin, and one of his will clones is searched outside the boundary of the realm. Anyway, they all carry the copying talent, so they can all search. However, after searching for a long time, he could not find any treasure that could attract the talent of copying, so his hope is not very high. However, Etienne still didn't give up. After all, once he found it, his copy talent could be upgraded. For him, it was like an unimaginable big chance. Year of a billion rivers. 21 World River Year. Before you know it, 6 billion years have passed since the origin of the sea. For Etienne, A euro this is also a very long time, and his strength has improved tremendously. At this time, the source of the Source World Sea has no effect on 970 Etienne, A euro but it only made his source assimilation degree reach 30%, and the spiritual spring fluid of the beginning is almost exhausted. In addition, Etienne broke 29 shackles and chains, and the shackles and chains at the back were really too difficult to break. And Yi Tian also used the white stone of life to exchange a lot of resources and treasures that helped to improve the will of the transformation and the body of primitive level control, which improved a lot of strength. Now, Yi Tian has improved everything that should be improved. Moreover, he has raised all kinds of changes to nearly 1 billion, and cultivated the perfect body to the realm of small achievement. Now, Yi Tian's strength is much stronger than when he was sparring with the Black Rotten Master. Although Yi Tian did not continue to spar with the Black Mortal Master, he felt that his strength might have surpassed that of the Black Mortal Master. During this period of time, the sea of a Euro origin realm was also very calm. But at this time, the 10 line ancestors, Matru ancestors, eyes, primitive ancestors, Black Emperor ancestors and other existences that surpassed the 10 realms level, one by one. At this moment, they are discussing a big thing, about the origin of the sea. In the silent void of the sea of a Euro origin, they all sat here, and almost every one of them looked a little ugly. Chapter 1931 The Great Beings are about to be expelled. These controllers who surpassed the 10th realm level were silent for a while, but it was the primitive ancestor who broke the silence. Everyone, you should be aware of the change in the rules of the original sea of a Euro origin. The primitive ancestor said. Shixing Zhu nodded. Of course I know, otherwise, we wouldn't all be standing here. We didn't expect that one day we would be rejected by the sea of a Euro origin. Among these people, the most depressing is the Black Emperor Patriarch. Hey, it wasn't long before I surpassed the 10th realm level, but now I will be rejected by the Source Realm Sea. The Source Realm Sea is my home, and I won't be able to return home soon. The Black Emperor Patriarch said helplessly. At this time, Jia Zhu said, it's not a big deal, we can just open up a dojo in the Jejia near the source of the sea, but we can't enter the sea of a Euro the source, and we can know everything else immediately. Wu Wu True Ancestor said, but if there is any danger in the world, sometimes the Source World Sea is a natural protective cover, but now we can't enter the Source World Sea. If we really encounter danger, we can only sit back and wait. Quote. Dangerous. The Black Emperor's ancestor asked curiously, we have already surpassed the 10 realm level controllers, and there is no way up there. Is it possible that there are more powerful beings than us? Wu Wu True Ancestor smiled and said, it's just that there is no way in the origin of the sea, it doesn't mean that there is no way in the world. How big is the world, and it is comparable to our lives, we have all encountered it. It's just the old Black Emperor. Ancestor, you have only made a breakthrough, and you haven't explored the realm of the world, so you don't know much. In short, there are more than 1 or 2 dangers that can make us fall. The ancestor of the Black Emperor secretly remembered. Why did the original sea of a Euro origin suddenly change the rules to exclude us? Shi Xingzu asked curiously. There was no sign before, and suddenly it became like this. I don't know anything, the Black Emperor Patriarch said. The others also shook their heads one by one, not knowing why. After all, this has never happened, and this is the first time it has been discovered. They only know that some worlds or voids will repel the strong, but the origin of the sea is so huge that such a thing can happen. At this time, the primitive ancestor made a guess, I'm afraid this matter is really related to the Black Emperor's ancestor. Quote. What does this matter have to do with me? The Black Emperor Patriarch was surprised, I don't take the blame. The original ancestor continued. The Black Emperor ancestor created the method of breaking through the shackles and chains, and this road has improved the rules of the original world sea again. And those of us who have surpassed the existence of the 10 world level controllers can easily break through. The shackles and chains are equivalent to provoking the rules of the source boundary sea again and again, and surpassing the rules, which makes the source boundary sea begin to self-regulate and change, and can even be said to be a kind of perfection. Now, the source boundary sea is about to be completed, and the perfect way is to expel those of us who have surpassed the 10 world level. Just like some ordinary worlds, after the rules are perfected, people who are beyond the rules of the world are not allowed to stay, and they are expelled one after another. The original ancestor's analysis has some truth. Jia Zhu nodded. Afterwards, they discussed for a long time, wanting to discuss a way not to leave the sea of a Euro origin, but in the end they did not discuss it. Although they surpassed the 10 realm level controllers, compared with the entire source realm sea, they still couldn't help the source realm sea. The only option is to move the dojo. Ten Xingzu sighed. Also, don't publicize this matter too much, otherwise it will cause a lot of turmoil. After all, once we lack our deterrence, there will be a lot of disputes between the eternal controllers. The primitive ancestor said. Well, I propose to only tell my own direct disciples or relatives to know about it. Wu Wu True Ancestor said. Afterwards, they discussed again, and after a while, they left one by one. Wanyuan Mountain. Yi Tian received a message from Xixing Ancestor and came over immediately. Soon, he found that the senior brother Zhang Yu, the second senior brother Ji Yu Mo, the third senior brother Haixi, and the fourth senior sister Shui Nu were also here to meet the master together. I have seen master, several people respectfully said. Shixing Zhu looked at the 5 people and said solemnly, I have something to announce, and it is a very important thing. The 5 of them listened solemnly. Xixing Ancestor said, I am going to move the dojo in Wanyuan Mountain to the boundary of the realm. Moreover, in the future, Wanyuan Mountain will not be able to freely enter and exit the Sea of A origin. After leaving Wanyuan Mountain, I will tear apart the barriers of the Sea of A origin. Enter the Sea of A origin. Master, did something happen to the Sea of A origin? Yi Tian asked in surprise. Xixing Ancestor nodded slightly. Yes, there is indeed a problem with the Sea of A origin, it is about to exclude existences above the 10 realms level, so I, the primitive ancestors, and the others cannot continue to stay in the Sea of A origin, and they have to leave the Source Realm Sea. Moreover, we can never enter the Source Realm Sea again, unless one day we can ignore the rules of the Source Realm Sea. How so? The Black Mortal Controller was shocked. Immediately, he explained the possible reasons for the existence of the 10 elements ancestors, which was the set of guesses made by the primitive ancestors. As for whether this is the case, then there is no need to speculate, because it has already happened and cannot be changed. Master, if you say that, in the future, the Source Realm will be respected by the Master of the 10 Realms. The Black Rotten Master said in surprise. Indeed so. Ten Xingzu nodded. Immediately, Xixing Ancestor said, from now on, this vein will be guarded by you, especially He Shu and Yi Tian. You are the strongest, so don't let this vein be bullied, who dares to offend me. If you don't know the pulse, then bully it back, we don't cause trouble, but we not afraid of trouble. Yes, master, Yi Tian and the other 5 responded in succession. Don't spread the word about this matter, you just need to know. Shi Xingzu ordered. Yi Tian and others nodded. In the future, if you have something to do, you can still come to Wanyuan Mountain to find a teacher. Xixing Ancestor said a few more words and was ready to move Wanyuan Mountain. On the Yuan Mountain of Wan Nuo Qian Hao, those formal disciples were moved out one by one, and then briefly talked about the relocation but did not say the reason. Boom! Ten Xing Ancestor dragged Wanyuan Mountain, tore apart the barriers of the Source Boundary Sea, came to the boundary of the world, and immediately stopped at a treasured place in the boundary of the world. And other great beings that have surpassed the 10 realms level controllers have also moved from the dojo, and in the water treasure land, they will occupy it as their dojo land fox. This incident only caused a sensation in the high-level sources of the Source Realm, but many eternal controllers only know that the great beings have relocated the dojo, and they do not know the reason. Only a very small number of eternal controllers know the reason, but there is no publicity. Go out. In this way, time passed slowly, and the eternal controller gradually accepted this fact, and did not think much about it. It seemed that the Source Realm Sea was still stable. However, on this day, there were still some changes in the Sea of A origin. Chapter 1932 The Chance of Haitsu. The Source World Sea, the Black Meteorite Sea. This is a forbidden place in the Sea of A origin, and even the eternal controllers of the 7th and 8th tiers dare not approach this place. There are dense black lightning bolts, and every lightning bolt can smash the body of an 8th realm level controller. Therefore, no one dares to come here. However, some ancient eternal masters know where it came from. This is the place where Haitsu was sealed, and the black lightning here is actually formed by the power of the magic circle, which is to prevent other people from entering here. But in fact, even if it is a 10 realm level controller, it is difficult to rescue Heizu, and he has to pay a certain price. Deep in the Black Meteor Sea, Heizu, who was suppressed by layers of magic circles, was located in an extremely compressed time and space. The space around him was only 10 meters. This 10-meter range seemed to condense and compress billions of time and space. He has been stuck here. And there were countless black threads running through his body, and these threads blocked his body, making him unable to move or practice. Originally, Heizu's eyes were always closed, as if he was sleeping. But at this moment, he suddenly opened his eyes, and his eyes showed an excited look. 983 inches ha ha ha, the rules of the Source Realm have changed. Heizu said excitedly. Although he has been sealed, no one knows that he still has an incarnation outside. The power of that incarnation is very weak, and it is hidden in a mysterious place. Even the great beings beyond the 10th realm level are not there. Discover the location of his avatar. Therefore, he has always been able to understand the external situation. Today, all the great beings have been excluded from the sea of a euro origin. If others don't know it, he naturally knows it. The original ancestor, you sealed me back then, but unfortunately I still waited for the opportunity. Heizu knew that he could escape the seal. Before, when the great existence was still there, he did not try to break the seal, so if he broke it, the primitive ancestor could continue to seal him. But now, the primitive ancestors can't enter the source realm sea, so naturally they can no longer seal him. This is an excellent era. If he makes good use of it, he can break through the shackles in this era and become a great existence that surpasses the level of the 10 realm level controller. Certainly, relying on him alone, he can't break the seal. After all, this is the CJFI seal blessed by the primitive ancestor. He is a 10 level controller, no matter how powerful he is, he can't break the seal. So, he had to find a helper. Got to find him, Heizu murmured. White Mountain. This is the domain of the Baiming controller, and the Baiming controller is not an ordinary eternal controller, but a 10 level controller. The Black Rotten controller, but the gap is not too big. The incarnation of Heizu came here, and sent a message to the Master of Baiming. Next moment, the Master of Baiming appeared and brought Heizu's incarnation into the depths of Baiming Mountain. Heizu, you still have an avatar left outside, hiding from the original ancestor. The Baiming controller was a little surprised. Ha ha ha, what about the primitive ancestor? He only surpassed me by half a step, and his strength is much stronger than us, but in fact, he has not stepped into another realm, it is not so scary, and it is not difficult to hide from him. Heizu smiled. Heizu, what are you looking for from me? Asked the Baiming controller. Help me break the seal. Heizu said. What, to help you break the seal? This will offend the original ancestor. Baiming's controller frowned. As a 10 realm level controller, he is a terrifying primitive ancestor. The original ancestor can't enter the sea of a euro origin now. Don't say you don't know, what are you afraid of him? Heizu said coldly. Baiming controller said, I know the primitive ancestor can't get out, but I have to go out too. Once I go out, the primitive ancestor starts to attack me, how can I resist? Heizu said coldly. Baiming, don't forget, you have today, that is because of my help, and you are also the eternal controller who practiced the heaven-seizing technique, but I didn't give you up. Why, are you going to turn your back on me today? The Master of Baiming smiled and said, Heizu, I naturally don't turn against you, but I really don't want to offend the original ancestor. Heizu said, Baiming, you should know that I am not far from a breakthrough, and now that the third way has appeared in the sea of a euro origin, I am sure to break the shackles and surpass the 10 level controller. If you release me, once I break through, you don't have to be afraid of the primitive ancestors. Even you and I can continue to practice the sky snatching technique. In the days when I was sealed, although I was unable to practice, I could still continue to create secret techniques. Now I have created. If we join forces and devour all the eternal masters of the source realm sea, maybe we can walk out of the fourth way with the sky snatching technique, and you also have the hope of surpassing the 10 realm level masters. You have practiced heaven-seizing technique. I am afraid that the lifespan is not much now. Is it possible that you want to wait for death like this? Life. The face of Baiming's controller changed. The eternal controller has an infinite lifespan, but he has a lifespan limit, which is also something he is very troubled by. To this end, he often delays the passage of time in order to delay time. But if this trouble is not resolved, he will still fall. But as the founder who created the heaven-seizing technique, ancestor was not limited by his lifespan, but the second person who practiced the heaven-seizing technique would be limited by his lifespan. And he is the second eternal master who practiced the heaven-seizing technique. Heizu, can your newly created heaven-seizing technique solve the problem of longevity? Asked the Master of Baiming. No, Heizu said truthfully. However, it is more perfect and can make you live longer. Besides, as long as you surpass the 10 realm level controller, the rules of the source realm can't limit you. You can't. There is a life limit problem. Okay, I bet, the Baiming controller agreed. After all, if he does not continue to cooperate with Heizu, he will die in the future, so it is better to gamble. Very good, take my avatar to the Black Meteor Sea, and don't attract the attention of other 10 realm level controllers. Heizu reminded. Clear. Bai Ming controller nodded. Immediately, the master of Bai Ming took the incarnation of Heizu to the Black Meteor Sea. Soon, the Black Meteor Sea is here. Although the formation of the Black Meteorite Sea is terrifying, it can't help the master of Bai Ming at the master level of the 10 realms. Soon, he came outside the seal. Bai Ming, you and I attack a magic circle node at the same time, at most hundreds of times can break the seal. Heizu said. I know, let's get started. Bai Ming controller said. Immediately, Bai Ming's controller and Heizu began to attack the seal at the same time. Chapter 1933 Hey Ancestor gets out of trouble. Boom. The master of Bai Ming and Heizu started at the same time, and the entire Black Meteor Sea trembled. Deep in the Black Meteor Sea, Heizu burst out with all his power, and with the assistance of Bai Ming's controller, the magic circle was at its weakest. Most of them are used to defend against external attacks, and the inside will be very weak. This is Heizu's chance. Click. The black threads shattered, but this time only 1/10 of the black threads shattered. Bai Ming, continue to attack. Heizu said. It is good. The master of Bai Ming also knows that he can't break the magic circle with one blow and help Heizu escape, at least he needs to attack again and again. Soon, yet another attack began. Boom. This time, Heizu broke away 1/10 of the black silk thread again. In this way, the master of Bai Ming and Heizu continued to cooperate, and the black magic circle threads that locked him on Heizu became less and less. Primordial Realm. This is the place of the original controller, and the original controller is the son of the original ancestor, and he is also a big disciple. Second only to the Black Rotten controller. At this time, the original controller opened his eyes and looked at the Black Meteorite Sea. The Black Meteorite Sea seems to be moving. The face of the original controller changed. When his father was still in the Sea of A origin, he didn't need to worry about Hey Ancestor of the Black Meteor Sea. Even if the other party got out of trouble, his father could continue to seal it. But now, my father can no longer enter the Sea of A origin, and once Heizu gets out of trouble, he really can't do anything about him. Swish. The original controller quickly shuttled to the Black Meteor Sea. The speed of the 10 realm level controller is so fast, so in a blink of an eye, he came to the Black Meteorite Sea. At this time, he saw the master of Bai Ming and an incarnation of Heizu. Bai Ming controller, do you want to help Heizu out of trouble? The original controller was furious. Originally, he thought that Heizu would not be able to get out of trouble. After all, this was the magic circle arranged by his father. How did Heizu get out of trouble? Unexpectedly, there are other 10 realms level controllers to help Heizu get out of trouble. Death to me. The original controller took action, shattering the endless time and space with one blow, hitting the Bai Ming controller. The master of Bai Ming was shocked, he was not the opponent of the original master. Continue to attack the formation, the original controller will not kill you with a few tricks. Heizu said. Help me out of trouble now, and you will be safe. The master of Bai Ming felt that what Hey Ancestor said was reasonable, so he ignored the attack of the original master, and only used a top defense type origin mastering skill, and forcibly endured a blow from the original master. At the same time, he cooperated with Heizu and launched another attack. Damn, the master of Bai Ming has to help Heizu get out of trouble. The original master knew that it was useless to attack the master of Bai Ming like this, and he couldn't kill him in a short time. Therefore, it is necessary to separate the Bai Ming controller and the Black Meteor Sea. In this way, Bai Ming's controller will not want to continue to attack the magic circle. The Sea of A time and space. The original controller launched this move and directly rolled to the controller of Bai Ming. In an instant, the master of Bai Ming found that he had been involved in another time and space by the original master, leaving the Black Meteorite Sea. Not good. The face of Bai Ming's controller changed. The next moment, the figure of the original controller appeared. Bai Ming controller, you really want to die? The original controller said coldly. Boom. The war broke out, and the master of Bai Ming was not the opponent of the original master at all, and was completely crushed by him. Deep in the Black Meteor Sea, Heizu knew that he couldn't count on Bai Ming's master, but fortunately, the seal was broken, and he could still break the seal and get out of trouble by relying on his own strength. Click. A black thread snapped with all his strength. Time passed slowly, and Heizu kept breaking free from the seal. Finally, all the black magic formation threads were freed by him. Ha ha ha, my Heizu is finally free, Heizuxing said. Immediately, he punched the magic circle. Boom. Hai Yunhai was directly punched through by Heizu. The next moment, Heizu walked out from the depths of the Black Meteor Sea. Immediately, Heizu directly broke through the sea of a time and space of the original controller, and dragged out the controller of Bai Ming who was about to be killed. Heizu, you are out of trouble. The master of Bai Ming is overjoyed. Yes, I got out of trouble. Heizu said with a smile. Ask for flowers. Far away, the face of the original controller changed. He tried his best to stop it, but it was still a step too late, and Heizu still got out of trouble. He was no match for Heizu, so he fled immediately. Heizu didn't go after the original controller. After all, he didn't dare to kill the original controller. Otherwise, even if the original ancestor couldn't get in, he would have to pay a huge price for all the 10-level controllers to besiege. Moreover, he didn't know whether the primitive ancestors could return to the sea of a origin at a huge price, so there was no need to take risks. Right now, his task is to cultivate and surpass the 10 realms level controller. After the original controller returned to the original world, he immediately spread the news of Heizu's escape. For a time, the entire Source Realm Sea was shocked by this news. And Yi Tian was the first to know the news. Heizu is out of trouble. Yi Tian frowned. This is not a good thing. With Heizu's style, the entire sea of a origin is likely to be in chaos. At the same time, the great beings in the origin realm overseas who surpassed the 10th realm level also knew the news of Heizu's escape. If they were in the past, they would not care about this trivial matter. But now, they can't enter the sea of a origin, which is no small matter. This day, Xixing ancestor, primitive old ancestor, Jia ancestor and others chatted together. Primitive ancestor, you sealed Heizu at the beginning, but now they are out of trouble, your lineage is probably in trouble. Shi Xingzu said. Heizu, he still dares to kill all my lineage. If he dares, I will kill him. The primitive ancestor said. You can't enter the sea of a origin, so how can you kill him? Jia Zhu said with a smile. Xixing ancestor said. In the beginning, you should have killed He ancestor, and there will be no trouble like today. The primitive ancestor sighed. Heizu is the Blood Emperor's disciple after all. At the beginning, the Blood Emperor made a huge contribution to the original realm sea. The Blood Emperor fell, and I was embarrassed to kill his only disciple. 1. We can't do anything at the moment, let the 10-level controllers in the Source Realm worry about it. Although Heizu is powerful, there are only a few 10-level controllers who can compete with him, so there is nothing to worry about. 10 Lines Ancestor Road. Well, that's all. The Way of the Original Ancestors. Chapter 1934 The Black Ancestor Destroys the Fearless Pavilion. The Sea of a origin. Fearless Pavilion. This is also a rather ancient force in the Source Realm, with 1/10 realm level controller, 3 9 realm level controllers, and a large number of ordinary eternal controllers. Therefore, the influence of this force in the Sea of a origin realm is not small. However, this day, the eternal masters of the headquarters of the Dreadnought House found the outside area shrouded in darkness. No, there is a strong enemy attack. The expressions of the eternal masters of the Fearless Pavilion changed dramatically. In the depths of the Fearless Pavilion, a big man came out. He is the 10 world level controller of the Fearless Pavilion, the Fearless Ancestor. This is the Dark Nest, the Black Ancestor surpasses the top source control technology. The face of the Fearless Ancestor changed greatly. He has experienced Heizu's era, so he is very familiar with Heizu. When he thought of Heizu coming, 983, he panicked. Immediately, another avatar of his will began to ask some of his good friends for help. But if it doesn't work, he can't guarantee it. At this time, he walked out of the Fearless Pavilion, looked into the depths of the Dark Nest, and bowed respectfully. Heizu, you are not coming to my Fearless Pavilion as a guest, right? If you are a guest, why use the Dark Nest? Black Ancestor. When some unknown eternal masters heard this name, their whole bodies trembled. This is an extremely terrifying taboo name. Ha ha ha, Fearless Ancestor, you still remember my Dark Nest, but you are too useless. After such a long time, your strength doesn't seem to have changed much. 1. Boom. Heizu walked out from the depths of the Dark Nest, staring at the Fearless Ancestor, not gentle or kind, but just murderous. Heizu, how can you let go of me and the Fearless Pavilion? 1. The Fearless Ancestor said, do you think it's possible? Heizu said coldly, at the beginning, I invited you to join my force, but you refused to do it, but instead betrayed the secret of my practice of heaven-seizing technique, and then you escaped from the Sea of a origin. Otherwise, my affairs are not necessarily exposed, and the primitive ancestors will not seal me. Do you think that I will be permanently sealed, and you dare to escape back? Ha ha ha, now that I am out of trouble, I just use you to practice. Immediately, Heizu started. Boom, countless black palms emerged from the dark nest and were grabbed from the endless time and space. Numerous eternal masters wanted to escape, but couldn't. The dark nest blocks the endless time and space. Unless they have strength comparable to or surpassing Heizu, they will not be able to break the blockade of the dark nest. The big dark nest is like a nest, with hundreds of millions of layers, completely wrapping it up. In an instant, one of the eternal controllers was caught by the big black hands, pulled into the depths of the dark nest, and sealed up one by one. Even the 3-9 realms level controllers did not have any strength to resist, and they were all sealed. In the blink of an eye, there was only the fearless ancestor left here. Aren't you running away? Heizu asked. I can't escape. The fearless ancestor smiled bitterly. He is only the weakest level of the 10 realm level controllers, while Hei ancestor is the most powerful group. The strength gap between the two is too great. If there is no dark nest, he still has hope of escaping. But now, he can't escape. Moreover, he is now the real body, not the will clone. If the will clone falls, it will only be a bigger loss, but once the real body falls, it is really dead. Heizu, I have so many eternal masters in the fearless pavilion, enough for you to practice, why should I have one more? I'm a waste, and I can't threaten you. The fearless ancestor begged for mercy again. Ha ha ha, if you were like this back then, where did you come from today? Heizu did not hesitate, and directly killed the fearless ancestor. The fearless ancestor knew that he couldn't beat it, but he still fought. After just a few moves, the fearless ancestor was severely injured. Soon, countless hands of darkness were bound on the body of the fearless ancestor and dragged him into the dark nest. In the depths of the dark nest, the power of the entire dark nest was suppressed layer by layer, completely making the fearless ancestor without the power to resist, and fell into a sleeping seal. At this point, the fearless pavilion is destroyed. Receive. Heizu put away the dark layer. The dark nest that enveloped this area kept shrinking, and finally entered Heizu's body. Immediately, Hei ancestor began to use the heaven seizing technique, and in conjunction with the dark nest, he instantly took away the perception of Tao from many eternal masters. Boom, countless insights came in, which made the path of darkness grow rapidly, and there were changes one after another. Although many changes in the path are repeated, but this time, there are more eternal masters absorbed, so the progress is still very high. Big. Very good, I have a feeling that if a kind of Tao is raised to 1 billion changes, it will change, but most of the 10 realm level controllers will not go to enlightenment after comprehending hundreds of millions of them at most. The more you comprehend, the more difficult it becomes. It is almost impossible to comprehend the billions of changes in your debut. Even those great beings who surpass the 10th realm level are afraid that they will not be able to comprehend one kind of Tao into 1 billion. A change. However, there is hope for my Sky Reaver. Heizu said excitedly. In the past, there were those great existences, and he still had some scruples. But now, he can do whatever he wants, who can stop him? Even if there is a 10 realm level controller with similar strength to him, but it is only against him, but can't kill him, he can completely avoid fighting with him, go to other places to capture the eternal controller, and then use the sky snatching technique to absorb the Tao. Variety. And he can also develop forces and let his subordinates go to the world to collect resources, and he doesn't need to go out at all, and the primitive ancestors can't help themselves. Soon, some eternal masters still came to the Fearless Pavilion. The Fearless Pavilion is gone, all the eternal masters have disappeared, and the other creatures under the eternal masters have all turned into ashes. 1. Prying through time and space, it is Hei Ancestors 5.8 Dark Nest. Except for the Dark Nest, nothing can be spied on. Ancestor Hei has handed your hand to your Excellency Fearless. It should be that the old Fearless Ancestor cheated Hei Ancestor, so Hei Ancestor took revenge now, right? Don't forget, Hei Ancestor is the creator of the heaven seizing technique. He wants to practice the heaven seizing technique. You think he will let us, the eternal masters, be spared? The Fearless Ancestor is only the first one, and there are more eternities to come. The master was killed by him. We have to find the Black Rot Masters to discuss, and only they can deal with the Black Ancestors, we can't deal with it. Immediately, these Eternal Masters left one by one, for fear of being killed by Heizu. The other side, Yi Tian also quickly learned the news that the Fearless Pavilion was killed by Heizu, and was a little surprised. Heizu's movements were also too fast, and as soon as he got out of trouble, he couldn't wait to take action. Chapter 1935 Heizu fights with the Black Rotten Master. Time passed slowly. In a short period of time, the strength of the Eternal Controller or those who possess the Eternal Controller was killed one after another. Some may have nothing to do with Hey Ancestor, but most of them have something to do with Hey Ancestor. As a result, everyone in the Sea of A origin is in danger. For a time, the Source Realm Sea fell into chaos. On this day, many masters of the 10 realms of the Source Realm gathered together to discuss the matter of the Black Ancestor. Feng Shuicheng. One after another, the 10 realms level controllers came here and used this place as the meeting place. Yi Tian, A the Black Rotten Controller, the Ancient Demon Controller, the Snow Girl Controller, the Original Controller, and the other 10 world level controllers have all come here. At this time, the Original Controller opened his mouth and said, "Everyone, Heizu is out of trouble. Everyone should know that. Heizu practiced the sky snatching technique, so with his temperament, I am afraid that a large number of eternal controllers will be swallowed up. Yes, Heizu cannot be allowed to continue like this." The Black Rotten Controller also followed. At this time, a 10-realm level controller said, "The Original Controller, the Black Rotten Controller, do you have the confidence to deal with Hey Ancestor?" Hey Ancestor's strength has almost reached the pinnacle of the 10-realm level controller. The great beings are somewhat disregarded, although they were easily sealed by the Original Ancestor, but the Original Ancestor is powerful, we can't do anything about him. 29 inches. I can't beat Heizu, the Original Controller admitted. I'm not weaker than Hey Ancestor, but if who is stronger, then we have to fight to know, said the Black Rotten Controller. Yi Tian spoke. No matter what Heizu's strength is, this matter must be stopped, otherwise, with Heizu's character, once the Eternal Master of the entire Origin Sea is slaughtered, it is not impossible. At that time, everyone will not must be alive. Many 10 realms level controllers frowned, and this is what they are worried about now. At present, Hey Ancestor has not attacked other 10 realms level controllers other than the Fearless Ancestor. They all knew that Hey Ancestor had a festival with Fearless Old Ancestor, so it was normal to take action. But now, they are watching a play, so they don't have to worry about their own safety, and Hey Ancestor is also afraid of a chain reaction, so he doesn't dare to attack other 10 realm level controllers in a short time. However, what about in the future? So, many things have to be considered first. Then what should we do now? Said a 10 realm level controller. Immediately, they began to discuss, one by one expressed their opinions, and then they were rejected one by one. Someone proposed to take all shots and besiege Heizu. But if they fail, under Heizu's mad revenge, unless they stay together all the time, they will be broken one by one, and they will be finished. Many 10 realm level controllers don't want to die, so they don't dare to do so. After all, if they fail, they may die. So, they have to be cautious. After discussing for a long time, the Black Rotten Controller said, "Well, let me test the Black Ancestor first, and persuade the Black Ancestor to stop, otherwise it will be the enemy of all the Eternal Controllers and see his reaction. If necessary, and he played against each other to see his strength. I think so. This method is feasible, let's try it out first. 1. There is no other way, the great beings can't enter the Sea of A origin, so this is the only way." They didn't need to face Heizu directly, so they all agreed. Subsequently, this meeting dispersed, and the other Eternal Masters left one by one. At this time, Yi Tian said to the Heishu controller, "Senior brother Heishu, are you really going to meet the Black Ancestor for a while?" "Yes, I really want to play against Heizu, this time is an opportunity," the Black Rotten controller said excitedly. Yi Tian also knew that the Black Rot Master likes to fight, and the object he wants to fight the most is Heizu. At the beginning, when Hey Ancestor was not sealed, Hey Ancestor had not grown to this level, and naturally he was far from being an opponent of Hey Ancestor, so he had never fought against Hey Ancestor. Strictly speaking, the two do not belong to the same era, but they are often compared by the Eternal Masters of later generations. Then Senior Brother Heishu, be careful. I'm also watching secretly. If there is any change, I will also take action. Yi Tian said, "Little Junior Brother, let's arrange it like this, but you don't have to worry about me," said the Black Rotten controller. Subsequently, the Black Rotten controller went to the Black Ancestor. Heizu is easy to find, and he didn't hide it deliberately. He is currently in Beiming Mountain, where Beiming is in charge. Outside Beiming Mountain, the Black Rotten controller came here and shouted directly, "Heizu, come out." It's the Black Rotten controller here. The face of Beiming's controller changed. The Black Rotten controller is now very famous in this era, no less than the original Black Ancestor. Boom. Zhu did not hesitate, and stepped out of Beiming Mountain, his eyes confronting the Black Rotten controller. The Black Rotten controller, I didn't expect that the little guy from the beginning has grown up now. Zhu sneered. The Black Rotten controller said directly, Haitsu, you have killed too many eternal controllers recently, which has caused the dissatisfaction of all the eternal controllers. Now there are two ways for you. The first way is to make a vow of life and never again. Cultivating the heaven-seizing technique, after all, completely erases your own heaven-seizing technique. Second, that is to fight against all the eternal masters, so lead a Euro-S fight. Which way do you choose? A Euro. You threaten me. Zhu was angry. Is it a threat, J? The Black Rotten controller said coldly. Ha ha ha, just because you dare to threaten me, I want to know what skills you have. Without saying a word, Zhu shot directly. Moreover, he likes to use the dark nest that surpasses the top source control skills as soon as he makes a move. Boom, the dark nest filled the entire area, and even Beiming Mountain was covered. Dark nest. The Black Rotten controller has known this trick since 983, but he is not afraid at all. A spear was in his hand. This is not an ordinary weapon, but a weapon of will. Since I have gathered weapons of will to deal with me, but I also have weapons of will. Zhu's weapon of will is a black chain. Once, the primitive ancestor smashed his will clone and sealed him. After he got out of trouble, he did not condense the will clone, but condensed the will weapon, so that the combat power of the single body would be stronger. Boom, Haitsu and the Black Rotten master kept fighting, colliding again and again. However, in the Dark Nest, the Black Rot master is in an unfavorable state, so he is at a disadvantage. The Spear of Immortality. The Black Rotten controller also used a move comparable to the Dark Nest. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The billions of time and space barriers that the Dark Nest turned into were penetrated one by one, and a spear shadow seemed to directly penetrate the Dark Nest, but it did not completely break through the Dark Nest. And this blow also caused Zhu's chains to collapse, cracks appeared in his body, and he was knocked out. But soon, his body healed. This move is interesting, but it can't hurt me. I practice the body of the source of darkness, and the body is the source of darkness. You can't kill me, and it's hard to hurt me. Only the great existence can kill me, them. Black Ancestor is arrogant. Chapter 1936 Perfect Control Skills, created. Boom, the Black Rotten controller kept fighting with the Black Ancestor, and neither side could do anything about the other. And Yi Tian watched from a distance. Although the Dark Nest closed all time and space, the eternal controller of the outside world could not perceive the situation inside the Dark Nest. However, Yi Tian's copying talent can still be barely perceived, and he knows a little about the situation. It seems that senior brother Haixi can't help Zhu, but senior brother Haixi will not be in any danger. Yi Tian muttered. After fighting for a while, the Black Mortal Master knew that he could not help Haitsu, so he directly cast the Spear of Immortality, tore apart the Dark Nest, and rushed out of the Dark Nest. And Haitsu didn't chase, because he also knew that he couldn't kill the Black Rotten controller. Senior brother Haixi, are you alright? Yi Tian asked. It's okay, but Haitsu's strength is indeed very strong, I can't help him. Said the Black Rotten controller. Zhu's strength is indeed not weak. Yi Tian nodded. Although he thinks that his strength is stronger than Haitsu, it is unrealistic to want to kill Haitsu at present. Therefore, he did not make a move. Taking action now is equivalent to making Zhu vigilant. Afterwards, the Black Rotten controller went back and passed the news to other eternal controllers. When the other eternal controllers learned that Haitsu did not compromise, and the Black Rotten controllers couldn't help Haitsu, they frowned and didn't know what to do. Many eternal controllers are going to leave the Sea of A Euro origin and go to the end of the realm without conflicting with Hey Ancestor. Although this is not a long-term solution, it can only be done for now. After all, Hey Ancestor did not dare to leave the Sea of A Euro origin. With the passage of time, many weak eternal controllers are preparing to flee to the Sea of A Euro the world, and there are even forces to relocate the headquarters to the edge of the world, so that they are not afraid of the Black Ancestors. In this way, the situation has indeed eased. White Mountain. Hey Ancestor is a little depressed. He has not found any eternal controllers recently. These guys have all gone to the world, but he dare not enter the world, otherwise the primitive ancestor would be afraid to suppress him at the first time. Although there are still some very weak first-level controllers, killing those controllers is of little help. They don't even grasp the changes in the Tao, and killing them is of no benefit. Let's practice first. It just so happens that there is a third path in the sea of a euro origin. I can break the shackles and chains in my body and improve step by step, but I can also continuously improve my strength. Moreover, the changes in my paths are also very close to 1 billion. Changes. If you rely on penance, there may be hope to completely master a billion changes. A euro. Heizu thought to himself. There is still a big difference between close to 1 billion changes and the real 1 billion changes. However, it is almost impossible to master the billions of changes in Tao by smiling bitterly by yourself. No matter what, let's just leave it alone. Let's see how much strength can be improved by breaking the shackles and chains, and then plan in detail. Heizu murmured. Afterwards, he began to collect some cursed black stones and life white stones, and he also recruited some eternal masters who practiced the heaven seizure technique, and the task of collecting was handed over to him. He can only bless them, he doesn't need to work hard, and he can practice with peace of mind. In this way, the situation in the sea of a euro origin was temporarily stabilized. And this moment, Yi Tian was also practicing in seclusion, but he was not worried about Hey Ancestor. After all, Hey Ancestor could not threaten him. At present, it is becoming more and more difficult to break the shackles and chains. Yi Tian does not know when he will be able to break the next shackles and chains. Right now, he hopes that he can create a technique that surpasses the top source control technique. In that case, his strength can also improve by leaps and bounds. In addition, depending on whether you are lucky, you can find treasures that allow you to replicate your talent and evolve. However, Yi Tian felt that he was still trying to create a technique that surpassed the top source control technique, which was more promising. However, after comprehending for a long time, Yi Tian found that it was too difficult to create a technique that surpassed the top-level source control technique. As strong as Hey Ancestor, he has only created a dark nest, and the Black Rotten Master has only created an immortal spear. They don't know how many years it took to create only one such skill. Therefore, Yi Tian could not easily create such a skill. Maybe I can combine with the perfect body, Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he prepared to use the perfect body as the basis to create a skill that matched the perfect body, which could definitely surpass the top source control skills. In the years that followed, Yi Tian devoted all his efforts to comprehend creation, and used his perfect body to practice moves again and again. The years are like marks, and 300 million years of the world river have passed without knowing it. This day, Yi Tian was extremely excited because he finally created a skill that surpassed the top source control skill and reached another level. This move of his needs to be performed under the perfect body, using the perfect body to control the countless changes in the body, slashing a blow and forming a blade of light. He named this move Wan Dao Blade. Beyond the top source control skills, what level is this called? Let's call it perfect control skills. Yi Tian ordered. After creating the perfect control technique Wan Dao Blade, Yi Tian's strength reached another level. Right now, he felt that he should have the hope of injuring Heizu, but he still might not be able to kill him. Subsequently, hundreds of millions of years have passed, and Yi Tian has practiced the changes in the way of space to an infinitely close to 1 billion changes. In fact, a long time ago, many of his Tao changes had been mastered to the level of nearly a billion, but now it is infinitely close. For example, there are 99,999 kinds of changes in the space path. Promise money is good, and there are only one change to reach 100,000. At this time, Yi Tian suddenly felt that once it reached a billion changes, what changes would it seem? In addition, there is only one type left, and Yi Tian has some urge to comprehend it. Then comprehend it, Yi Tian decided. Afterwards, he madly comprehends the changes in the way of space. He has the affinity of the way, so the efficiency of comprehension far exceeds that of other eternal controllers, but even so, this last one is extremely difficult to comprehend the fox. Originally, Yi Tian felt that after comprehending tens of millions of world river years, he would definitely be able to comprehend it, but after comprehending hundreds of millions of world river years, he still could not comprehend it. However, he did not give up and continued to comprehend. Finally, after comprehending the 600 million years of the realm, I finally realized the billionth change of the way of space. Chapter 1937 Yi Tian shot and killed Heizu. As soon as the billionth change in the way of space was realized, the way of space immediately underwent a huge change. 1 billion kinds of changes were continuously fused together, and soon turned into a golden mark, which was integrated into Yi Tian's body. This mark can easily burst out the billions of changes in the way of space, and the blessing on the body makes Yi Tian's body gradually become stronger. More importantly, this imprint is still derivating more changes in the way of space. This kind of imprint is called the perfect imprint, it is so perfect. Yi Tian said in shock. With the space perfect imprint, Yi Tian's strength has improved a lot again. It is conceivable that if he had mastered more perfect marks, how much would his strength increase? No, 90 Boundary River. On this day, a figure stepped in, and he was Haitsu. At this time, Heizu learned that there are some eternal controllers in the 90th Boundary River, and they are blessed under the endless controllers, so he plans to devour these eternal controllers, attack the last shackles of the change of the Tao, and put the lines one by one. Tao strives to condense into a billion variations. As for whether he would offend Yi Tian, a euro he wouldn't care. Soon, 983 he sensed the existence of a 6th realm level controller. A 6th realm level controller is fine, just swallow him first. 1. Haitsu murmured. Immediately, he was about to use the dragon. But at this moment, the surrounding time and space were distorted, and Yi Tian appeared. Haitsu, you dare to kill the eternal master in my territory. Yi Tian said coldly. Endless controller, why, you want to stop me? Even your senior brother, the Black Rotten controller, can't stop me. Heizu said arrogantly. If you leave now, and you will never be as good as number 90 Jihei, I don't need to kill you. Yi Tian said. Kill me, it's up to you, Haitsu said disdainfully. So, are you going to fight with me? Yi Tian said lightly. It's not that I want to fight with you, it's that you want to die. Heizu said. In an instant, the two started. Immediately, Hei Ancestor cast the Dark Nest, directly covering Yi Tian. Ancestor Hei thought that Yi Tian's strength was not as good as that of the Black Rotten controller. After all, Yi Tian's reputation was not as good as the Black Rotten controller, and the time to become a 10-level controller was not very long. Moreover, after Yi Tian became the 10-realm level controller, he almost never took a shot, and he also learned from the Black Rotten controller, but outsiders don't know. Boom, countless big black hands stretched out from the dark nest to grab Yi Tian. I saw Yi Tian motivated the perfect body, holding the will blade to cast the space-time cracking blade. In an instant, countless black big hands shattered, and the dark big nest was also smashed to pieces by Yi Tian. At this moment, Heizu's face changed greatly. Your strength. Heizu found that Yi Tian's breath was too terrifying, much stronger than the Black Rotten Master. At this time, Heizu urged his will weapon Black Chain to merge with the Dark Nest, and waved his hand fiercely. The Black Chain seemed to turn into a black river and smashed towards Yi Tian. However, Yi Tian still just slashed over with a knife, and cut the Black Boundary River, knocking Hei Ancestor away, leaving a mark on his body. How dare you come to my number 90 Jihei with this little strength? Yi Tian sneered. I'm not your opponent, but you can't kill me. Heizu said unconvinced. Yes. At this moment, the perfect mark of space on Yi Tian appeared. This surprised Heizu. It's a billion spatial changes. It was the first time he saw the perfect imprint, but he could perceive the changes of a billion ways of space. Sure enough, his guess was not wrong. Once a change of Tao has mastered a billion, it will change. Obviously, this imprint is the result of change. He hasn't done it yet, but Yi Tian has done it. How is this possible? CJFI. And not only that, Yi Tian has used his newly created perfect control technique, Wan Dao Blade. Cut. With the perfect body and perfect imprint, Yi Tian, a euro combined with the Blade of Will, broke out the perfect control skill of Wan Dao Blade. Not only that, Yi Tian also motivated the Wanxiang Linlong statue, as well as the trick of empty eyes. Boom, Heizu was stunned, and the Wan Dao Blade directly bombarded him. Click. Heizu's body was mostly smashed, and he was directly injured, and the source was also injured. Impossible, I have a dark source body, you can't kill me. Heizu roared. Not once, then twice. Yi Tian took another shot and smashed Heizu to pieces. Bang bang bang. Yi Tian made his shots again and again, even if Heizu's body could be reborn in the dark source, but as his source power became less and less, his recovery speed became slower and slower, and eventually he couldn't bear it anymore. No, only great beings can kill me, how can you kill me? Heizu said in despair. If he knew that Yi Tian was such an evildoer, he would not be able to provoke Yi Tian. He regrets it. However, it was useless, Yi Tian couldn't let him go. Under another attack, Heizu's dark origin was completely shattered, and he never recovered, and fell directly. With the fall of the He ancestor, the inheritance of the heaven-seizing technique collapsed one by one, and many eternal controllers who had learned the heaven-seizing technique were also terrified to find that they did not remember the content of the heaven-seizing technique. The inheritance of the heaven-seizing technique has dissipated from the sea of a origin. This is what He Zu did in the heaven-seizing technique. Once he died, this inheritance would be completely gone. White Mountain. The master of Bai Ming was also terrified at the moment, and He Zukai passed on his brand new sky-snatching technique, which could delay his death and make him less affected by the sky-snatching technique. As a result, his heaven-snatching technique actually disappeared. How could this be? Haitsu. The master of Bai Ming tried to contact He Zu, but could not get in touch. Bai Ming's controller guessed that something must have happened to He Zu. Haitsu won't be killed, right? Impossible. In the Source Realm Sea, who has the strength to kill Haitsu? Even if all the 10 realm level controllers shoot together, they can't do it. Haitsu can't beat it. There is also a way to escape. The Bai Ming controller thought to himself. Afterwards, a news spread, and the sea of a origin boundary was boiling. The endless controller Yi Tian fought with He Zu in the 9th World River. After this battle, Yi Tian won and He Zu was killed. The first person who learned this news dared not imagine it, but when they asked other eternal masters, the news was the same. At this time, they had to believe that Haitsu really fell. Chapter 1938 The Shock of the Great Beings. Yi Tian was sorting out He ancestors' treasures at a time when many eternal controllers in the sea of a origin were shocked by He ancestors' fall. It must be said that Haitsu, as the top 10 level controller of the Source Realm Sea, is still very rich, but many of them are afraid that they come from other eternal controllers. But now, these treasures are all owned by Yi Tian personally. Time passed slowly, and Haitsu's treasure was gradually sorted out by Yi Tian. Suddenly, a map caught Yi Tian's attention. This map contains many changes, and the general eternal controller is afraid that they can't understand this map, but Yi Tian quickly understood it. This is an area of a Jasia, and many places are marked. Yi Tian said in surprise. Moreover, this is not the Jasia area near the source boundary sea, but the depth of the boundary far away from the source boundary sea, and you must use a map to lock this area, otherwise you can't find this area. Is it a map obtained by He Zu, or a map obtained by an eternal master who was killed by He Zu? Yi Tian didn't know what kind of situation it was, but this map now belonged to him. If he has time, he plans to go to the area where this map is located, and maybe he can find some good things. After all, if there is nothing of value, the owner of the map will not create this map. Since the other party created this map, it must mean that this place is very important. Senior brother Haixi, senior brother Ancient Demon, here they come. Yi Tian smiled slightly. He knew what these senior brothers were here to do, and they must be asking about He Zu's situation. Then, Yi Tian immediately went to see a few of them. Soon, the brothers and sisters met. Little junior brother, did you really kill Haitsu? When the Black Rotten controller saw Yi Tian, he was shocked. Yes, Yi Tian nodded slightly. Immediately, the Black Rotten controller and the Ancient Demon controller took a deep breath. Although they all knew the result, they were still shocked when Yi Tian said it himself. Little junior brother, the speed of your progress is terrifying, it's only been a long time, and you can kill Haitsu. The Black Rotten controller was extremely surprised. My strength is actually a little worse than Haitsu, little boy. Junior brother, you can kill me with your current strength. Little junior brother, He ancestor is already the pinnacle of a 10 realm level controller, and you can still kill him. The Ancient Demon controller exclaimed. Yi Tian smiled and said, I have created a technique that surpasses the top source control technique, and I call it the perfect control technique. Little junior brother, you created such a skill so quickly. The Black Rotten controller is interested and wants to see Yi Tian's perfect control skills. Immediately, everyone came to the end of the world. Yi Tian showed his Wandao blade here. I saw Yi Tian motivated the perfect body, and immediately cast the Wandao blade. This blow directly caused the expression of the Ancient Demon controller and the Black Rotten controller to change dramatically. What a horrible attack! The Black Immortal controller is very clear that this perfect control skill is similar to his Immortal Spear, but Yi Tian's Wandao blade cooperates with the perfect body, and the explosive power is much stronger than his Immortal Spear. In addition, I have also mastered the changes in the way of space to a billion. Having said that, Yi Tian showed the space imprint again. This time, the Black Rotten controller was dumbfounded. Little junior brother, you have mastered the changes in the way of space to a billion, how did you do this? The black rotten controller looked in disbelief. Talent, Yi Tian said lightly. After mastering 1 billion kinds of changes in Tao, this kind of mark will be formed. Unfortunately, I am still far from 1 billion changes. It is too difficult to master 1 billion changes. The ancient demon controller shook his head. It's really too difficult, I'm afraid even Haitsu didn't do it. The black rotten controller said. Afterwards, the black rotten controller and the ancient demon controller didn't stay long before they left one by one. They are afraid that if they stay here for a long time, they will be stimulated by Yi Tian to become autistic. But not long after, the Snow Maiden controller also came, but didn't stay for long, just asked about Heizu. Beyond the sea of A origin, the horizon of the world. 10 Qing ancestors, primitive old ancestors and the others naturally knew that He ancestor was killed. Ha ha ha, the original ancestor, it's still my disciple Yi Tian who is very powerful, killing the black ancestor. Shi Xingzu said very proudly. Primordial Patriarch was a little surprised. Yi Tian, A euro your 5th disciple, hasn't practiced for a long time, but you can kill Haitsu. 10 realm level controllers, almost no one can kill Haitsu and want to kill Haitsu. It's too difficult. Haitsu is the top existence of the 10 realm level controllers, and only those of us who have surpassed the 10 realms level controllers can easily kill Haitsu. Could it be your 5 disciples' breakthrough? Naturally, there is no breakthrough. If there is a breakthrough, he will not be able to stay in the sea of A euro origin. Shi Xing ancestor said. That's right, the sea of A euro origin realm only allows the existence of 10 level controllers at most. Your 5 disciples killed Haitsu at the 10th level controllers, which is really incredible. The primitive ancestor said. Shi Xing ancestor said proudly. My disciple Yi Tian has a great hope to reach our level in the future, maybe the hope of opening up the next realm depends on him. A euro for flowers, a euro. Haha, this is over, which one of us is not against the sky? But we still can't reach the next realm, we can only find another way to improve our strength. The primitive ancestor said. Then just wait, my disciple will definitely surprise us. Shi Xing ancestor said with a smile. As time passed, the entire source realm knew that Heizu was killed by the endless controller. Therefore, many eternal masters have returned from the realm, and the entire source realm has returned to calm. And Yi Tian is also slowly cultivating, not doing other things. This day, the original controller came to Beiming Mountain. Original controller, what are you going to do? The Beiming controller is very nervous. What? Naturally, I wanted to kill you, but you released Heizu. Now that Heizu is dead, do you think you can be safe? Said the original controller. I was also bewitched by Haitsu. 1. The master of Beiming still wanted to explain, but the original master did not give him a chance and shot directly. Boom. A war begins. However, the master of Beiming is not an opponent at all. In a short while, the master of Beiming was severely injured. Just when he was about to escape, an arrow came through endless time and space, directly injuring the master of Beiming. Jinyu master. The master of Beiming was shocked. The first sharpshooter in the sea of A euro origin realm, and the master of the 10 realms, Jinyu, is stronger than him. Unexpectedly, this one also shot, completely cutting off his hope of escaping. With this one's shot, an arrow can lock anywhere in the source realm. Die. The original controller shot again, and one blow shattered the body of the Beiming controller. So far, the master of Beiming has completely fallen and died. After all, this time, many eternal masters of the source realm sea were killed by Heizu. Although Heizu died, someone needed to take the blame, and the master of Beiming was the one who took the blame. This time, attacking and killing Beiming's controller is not the meaning of the original controller, but also the meaning of many eternal controllers. Next, those eternal masters who surrendered to Haitsu were also cleaned at this time, and they were besieged and killed one by one. And all this has nothing to do with Yi Tian. Not long after, Yi Tian was going to go to the location on Haitsu's map to see what was there. Then, he dispatched a replica body with a map to go past it. Chapter 1939 Golden Fruit, Copy Talent Promotion is imminent. Years have passed, and many years have passed. Yi Tian has been traveling through the boundaries of the world, and has traveled through 60 million years of the world. If he hadn't had the time, he wouldn't be afraid of wasting time, otherwise he would have given up long ago. This is too far. With my speed, I have traveled through the boundary of the world for 60 million years. If I were a general eternal controller, it would be endless time. Yi Tian muttered. However, he felt that he was about to reach his destination. I hope there will be a big harvest, otherwise this trip will be in vain. Yi Tian said expectantly. Another time passed. Arrive. Yi Tian has come to the area on the map. The energy here. Yi Tian discovered the special here. The energy here seems to be more abundant and easier to absorb than the energy of the original sea. Although for a 10-realm level controller like Yi Tian, a euro whether there is sufficient energy or not has little to do with. 983, for weaker beings, this is definitely a treasure land for cultivation. Yi Tian stepped into this area and sensed a lot of treasure resources. Of course, he also sensed a lot of powerful creatures, many of which were comparable to the eternal controller. Don't give up these resources in vain. Yi Tian took away these resources one by one, and some of them also helped him a little, and the treasures that were useless to him could be given to his family and the human race. Subsequently, Yi Tian went deep into this area. Suddenly, Yi Tian's expression changed, and he was immediately ecstatic. This is, Yi Tian sensed an attraction to copying talent. What it meant, he knew very well. That is, there is a treasure that can upgrade the copy talent. He has always wanted to upgrade the copy talent, but he has never found such a treasure. I didn't expect to come here this time, and I found it. It's so lucky. Immediately, Yi Tian went to that place, but he was careful. After all, if there was a terrifying creature that surpassed the 10-realm level controller, then he would be finished. Time passed slowly, and Yi Tian finally approached the location of the treasure. At this time, his copy talent sensed a group of extremely powerful creatures. This group is similar to spiders, but each one is extremely powerful. 6 equals to the 10 world level controllers, one of them is actually much more terrifying than Haitsu's breath, similar to me, no, stronger than my breath. Yi Tian secretly said, this terrifying creature may be very close to breaking the level of the 10 level controller, and it is between the level of the 10 level controller and the masters. After all, in theory, there is no level above the 10 realm level controllers, and everyone has tried every means to break this level, so the level of strength is uneven. If it is said that this spider creature has broken the 10 level controller, it is not impossible. All in all, it's scary. And the treasures Yi Tian needs are within the territory of this ethnic group. Once they enter the territory of this ethnic group, they will definitely be attacked by them. Condense the will clones first, let the will clones attract attention, hold them, and I will take the opportunity to take the treasures. Yi Tian planned. Afterwards, he began to gather his will clone somewhere. After a long time, the will clone has been successfully condensed. Then, Yi Tian asked this will clone to attract the attention of these spider creatures. Boom! The battle broke out instantly. At this moment, hundreds of millions of eyes appeared on the most terrifying spider creature, with red eyes, yellow eyes, and golden eyes. The dense eyes simultaneously launched billions of secret techniques, instantly attacking Yi Tian's duplicate body. At the same time, the surrounding time and space were solidified, and the layers were blocked. If an ordinary 10-realm level controller encounters this spider creature, it will be instantly smashed, and the defense of the original golden light will not be able to withstand it, and it will be torn to shreds in an instant. At this time, Yi Tian's original golden light was torn apart by this spider creature's billions of attacks, but Yi Tian's perfect body resisted its attack. The strength is really terrible, Yi Tian said lightly. Immediately, Yi Tian's combat power was fully activated, and with his perfect body, he activated the perfect control technique, Wan Dao Blade. With one blow, Yi Tian directly smashed this piece of time and space, killing one spider creature in an instant, and the terrifying spider creature was also sent flying by Yi Tian, a euro, and one of its spider legs was cut off. However, it recovered instantly and thus did not hurt it. But this made it extremely angry, attacking Yi Tian frantically, and several other 10-level controller-level spiders were also assisting the attack. And Yi Tian retreated while fighting, giving the replica body time to act. These spiders also did not expect that Yi Tian's purpose was a treasure in their territory, so they directly fought with Yi Tian farther and farther. It's time to act. Yi Tian tore through time and space in an instant, shuttled in, and had the guidance of copying talent, so the goal was very clear, pointing directly to the place where the treasure was. Without the terrifying creature's obstruction, Yi Tian easily broke through the layers of time and space barriers and came here. Found it. Yi Tian saw a golden tree with a golden fruit on it. The golden fruit was very small, about the size of an adult's palm. On the border of the world, such a fruit is naturally a very small fruit. That's it. Yi Tian couldn't help the endless longing in his heart, and wanted to devour this fruit. Obviously, this golden fruit is an item that can make the copy talent evolve. Immediately, Yi Tian reached out and grabbed the golden fruit. After taking the golden fruit, the golden tree withered. At the same time, those spiders went crazy, and even the spider that was fighting against the clone of the will turned around immediately. This golden fruit seems to be very important to them. Yi Tian thought to himself. Wow! Yi Tian fled quickly, and the will clone dragged these spiders. With the delay of the will clone, this duplicate body can easily escape. Shuttle, shuttle, shuttle. Yi Tian keeps fleeing from this area, who knows if there will be more terrifying creatures in this area. Therefore, he just wants to leave now. Anyway, he has already obtained the item he wants the most. Because of 5.8, he is currently looking for a safe place to absorb and refine it, so that the copy talent can evolve to a higher level, the most important thing. After a long time, Yi Tian completely escaped the pursuit of the group of spiders. And the will clone finally escaped at the cost of injury. Somewhere in the world, Yi Tian felt that this place was relatively quiet and safe, so he planned to absorb and refine the golden fruit here, and he would be relieved to let the replication talent evolve as soon as possible. Let's start. Yi Tian swallowed the golden fruit in one breath and started refining the golden fruit. Boom! Extremely powerful, energy beyond Yi Tian's imagination poured into the imprint of the copy talent, and also tempered Yi Tian's will. The transformation of the copy talent has begun. At the same time, accompanied by unimaginable pain. But Yi Tian forcibly held back. Chapter 1940 The Perfect Ancestor, the copy is successful. A euro seeking full order a euro. Hold on, this pain is nothing. Yi Tian silently endured the pain caused by the transformation of talent, thinking in his heart that once the transformation of copying talent was completed, he would lead to an unimaginable improvement. In the future, his growth rate will reach an unbelievable level, even his master will be surprised by his talent, and will feel incredible, even the master will not be able to see through his copy talent. After all, once the copying talent is upgraded, it is almost beyond the limit of the source realm. Even his master has never seen such a high talent level. Although the previous copy talent was very powerful, it was only comparable to the control level ancestor, but now it has surpassed the control level ancestor and reached the level of perfect ancestor. Moreover, once the copy talent is upgraded, he can completely copy the perfect ancestor he encountered at the beginning, swallowing the body. Time passed slowly, and tens of thousands of years passed before the copying talent finally completed its transformation. This transformation took too long. Yi Tian muttered. Before 29 years, the copying talent was upgraded very quickly. It took so long this time, but the result obtained by the effort was still very exciting. After all, the copying talent was successfully transformed. At this time, Yi Tian noticed that the perfect ancestral gift of swallowing the body was being copied quickly. Obviously, even if it was far away, it had already been copied, and it could continue to copy now. It didn't take long for the perfect ancestral gift of swallowing the body to be completely copied by Yi Tian. At this moment, Yi Tian also knew the effect of swallowing the body's perfect ancestor. Swallowing the body is the perfect ancestor of the flesh, and it is also the perfect ancestor that can devour all things, as if it is an upgraded version of the swallowing mountain. Afterwards, Yi Tian practiced the perfect body and found that the speed of practice was many times faster than before. With the perfect ancestral gift of swallowing the body, I will definitely be able to cultivate the perfect body to the perfect state in the future. Yi Tian said excitedly. More importantly, with the swallowing body of the perfect ancestor, it will become very easy for Yi Tian to create a perfect control skill of the flesh in the future. In short, after obtaining the swallowing body, Yi Tian's aptitude and potential have been inconceivably improved. It's time to go back. Yi Tian's cloned body began to return to the original sea of a euro origin. Although it would take a long time to go back, Yi Tian didn't care. At the same time, Yi Tian's body was also comprehending cultivation. The first is to cultivate a perfect body, and the second is to create a perfect control technique for the flesh. If you cooperate with the Wan Dao blade, you can burst into a more powerful strength. Of course, breaking the shackles and chains and changing the way of enlightenment still have to be done. In the blink of an eye, millions of years have passed. Such a short period of time was only a time to take a nap for a 10-realm level controller, but Yi Tian managed to create a perfect control technique. This perfect control skill was named by Yi Tian as the Swallowing Heaven Battle Body. Swallowing the sky and fighting the body is different from the perfect body. The perfect body is a method of practice, and it is a method of practice to transform the physique. Once practiced, it is the perfect body, and the physique has changed. And swallowing the sky is a fighting skill, but the swallowing body can be combined with the perfect body, and if combined with the 10,000 blade, it is enough to advance Yi Tian's strength to an unbelievable level. The speed of comprehension is very fast. Sure enough, after possessing the perfect ancestor of swallowing the body, it is too easy to create a similar perfect control skill. Yi Tian thought to himself. Today, he still belongs to the 10 realms level controller, but his combat power is probably no less than that of the Black Emperor Patriarch who just broke through. Yi Tian also knows why he has not broken the boundary of the 10 realms. Strictly speaking, the other boundaries in the 10 realms are 100. Breaking 100 points is equivalent to breaking the boundary and stepping into the 10 realms. However, he is different. He has cultivated a perfect body, and now he has a perfect ancestral gift. Therefore, the boundaries of the 10 realm level controllers are even wider. It may not be 100, but the number of 1000. This is naturally a good thing for Yi Tian. A euro after all, the strength can be continuously improved, even if the boundary of the 10 world level is not broken, so what? Anyway, he is not afraid of those great beings who surpass the 10 realm level controllers. It's a pity that I have only encountered a perfect ancestor, otherwise I can keep copying it. Yi Tian muttered. In the years that followed, Yi Tian strived to create a perfect control technique that could be used on the road. He is very clear that although his combat power is not weak, his speed is still not comparable to that of the master. Therefore, he must create a perfect control technique for rushing the road, so that he can easily reach the depths of the world, to explore more vast areas. The combination of the way of the flesh and the way of space may create such a perfect control technique. Yi Tian muttered. After all, he has mastered the changes of the way of space to a billion, forming the imprint of the change of the way of space, and the way of the flesh has the perfect ancestral gift of swallowing the body. Therefore, he has enough hope to create the perfect control skill that he needs. It took a lot longer to create this time, and more than 80 million years had passed before Yi Tian finally created another perfect control technique. Instant Shadow. Yi Tian named this perfect control skill. The instant shadow needs to use the powerful body as the foundation, smash the endless time and space, and then use the change of the way of space to construct the space-time channel, so as to achieve the purpose of crossing the incomparable distance in an instant. Try how long it takes to get to the area where the spider colony is located. 1. Yi Tian let the replica body set off. Puff. Yi Tian's body drilled into a channel in an instant, and in a blink of an eye, he came to the depths of the boundary of the world, which was already very far away from the origin of the world. Continue. Yi Tian continued to use the instant shadow to travel, and after only a few hundred years, he successfully came to that area. At the beginning, he spent tens of millions of years, and now he has done it for hundreds of years, and the speed has increased by hundreds of millions of times. It had to be said that the instant shadow made Yi Tian's rush speed reach an unbelievable level. Of course, the instant shadow is not very helpful for the battle, and cannot improve his strength much, but Yi Tian is already satisfied. After all, he created the instant shadow just to hurry. In the blink of an eye, another period of time passed. On this day, Yi Tian finally mastered 1 billion changes in the way of power, and formed the mark of the change of the way of power. After forming the power change mark, Yi Tian's strength also increased a little bit. For Yi Tian, a euro this is also a good start.